Okay, well, it says it's gone off to streaming. Is it set up one on Terry's one? Terry's live.
Hey, there's a turtle on my show.
There's a turtle on your show. Hang on a sec, let me change it to your show. There we go. And I'll turn off my...
I see a turtle on my show.
I'll turn off that. There you go. Can you now see the zoom? And can someone check...
I see a turtle.
I'll give it a sec. And can someone check if you can hear, please? Somebody. Can you hear what I'm saying through YouTube?
I just checked it. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, there we go.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes. Can we check? Someone else talk, please.
No, you just need to share your screen with it. Oh no, you're doing it now. It's all right. It's okay.
Can we hear everyone else?
Yeah, it's working.
It's working? There you go.
Then now you need to check to see whether if you share something like a video, whether they can hear that. That's going to be the key.
Well, that should be working. But let's have a look.
You want me to try to share?
Yeah, well, you
share it, Terry.
You can share it, Terry, if you want. Since you've already got it, just share it. We'll hear it.
So will it? You know what?
Well, will it crash you? I don't know. It won't crash us.
I didn't say the word. Who said that word?
Terry, have you got OBS open at the moment?
Yeah, I've got everything going like I normally do, except I'm not streaming.
No, you don't need OBS, do you?
Just don't do it through OBS. Just share it directly.
Yeah. Just share it on Zoom. You don't need OBS.
Okay. I'll get rid of OBS.
Yeah, shut that down.
Okay. So you want me to share?
Yeah. Share a video, Lindsay, or wherever it is.
Oh, there we go. It's go full screen. Yay.
No, I don't want it full screen.
No, diff for us. Diff for me.
For us.
Ah.
Because you're sharing, so...
Yeah, it does that.
Yeah, but you want that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Now press play, see if everybody out in the stream can hear it as well.
Go.
Etymology of the Garden of Eden is a fine enclosure. And this is it here. So today's video is about the Milky Way and describing the whole flat earth system now, because I have the complete picture of the earth. I didn't quite have it. It's something was bugging me and I finally
okay.
Look at the stream, look.
Okay, hang on a second. I'll fix that.
Shooting around, creating the
You need to
image.
adjust that, Timbo. Look at the share. Look at the screen.
Yeah, it's all right.
So there's the Milky Way. Let's start reading some of the stuff I've written. And at the same time, you've got
They
the
can hear him. Just can't see him.
Yeah, you got to resize
the
these.
central vortex that's going like this, spiraling up and
There
down.
we go.
Spirals up, spirals down over one day, 24-hour day. There's only a couple of turns. It just goes spirals up and then can
Because
back
it
down.
went full screen,
Up,
I didn't pick it up.
down. Once per day. And at the same time, the Milky Way is moving, but the Milky Way's rolling 1 degree per day.
So there's one other thing you got to do, Terry.
Make up for the...
You got to slide it along a bit.
Yeah.
You got to slide it along a bit so we don't put this in the whole thing.
No, he is. He's already gone. We're already up to where we were before.
Oh, no, I'm sure it was like
25
minutes in, I'm pretty sure.
No.
28 minutes in.
Okay, you're right.
whole yearly cycle
Oh, wait a minute, it's not on Lindsay's
of
speed.
the precession of the equinoxes and all that. This Milky Way is rolling 1 degree a month, is it?
1 degree.
We might have missed a bit, I might have jumped forward too
No,
far.
it's 12 degrees.
Will do.
No, we had this bit before. Just go back to the start.
The Milky Way is rolling.
Okay, go back to the start.
Inside of it, around the horizon of the black hole. 1 degree per day. Okay? 1 degree per day. Hardly see it.
Terry,
Yeah,
put
Clive
yours,
said
put
the
yours
sun's
in.
in the
The
beginning.
sun's stationary.
Terry, put yours in full screen. See what
Sun's
it
a
does.
big blob of plasma. So
I don't know if I
the
can
Milky
do
Way
that.
is moving
Yeah,
around.
you can.
One end of
On the
Milky
video
Way
itself.
is on the horizon of the black hole. So
Video in full screen. Well,
we're
There you
going
go.
around the black hole like this. There's a full rotation. The sun. You can imagine the sun sticking out here.
Well, Timbo's the one that's sharing it.
Where we sit
No,
out
I'm
here,
sharing you.
Yeah.
going around the black hole like this.
So if you make it full screen, I'll be sharing full
One
screen.
full rotation around the Earth.
You're supposed to
We
be
did it
sharing.
done
You're
out
supposed to
here.
be
They did it
sharing
done
what I'm
back
doing.
Timbo,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't need to share. You don't need to share Terry.
At the same time,
You don't
as
need
this
to
is
do that.
turning, this is slowly
I'm not.
rolling at 1 degrees.
I'm just sharing
You
You
Zoom.
are.
It moves
I'm just sharing Zoom.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to. No.
1
What would
degree
you like me
per
to do?
day.
What would you like me to do?
And at the end
You
of the
tell me.
day, it
Well,
rolls
what
just
can
that
they
little
see
bit
out
more.
there?
Look at your own.
That's the-
Right, look at your own
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah, he's
Slight
sharing.
variation. So this now brings us
Yeah,
back
you
to
don't
the
need to do.
window.
You don't need to do that, Timbo.
You clip the constellations. All the constellations are on here. Around this,
What we seen
Not in the main
out
vortex.
there is the Google page.
not in this main vortex.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Put
getting
your
at.
avatar
Yeah,
back,
both.
Timbo.
Hang on a sec. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me go back.
you need to stop sharing, Timbo. You don't need to share Terry anymore.
Yeah,
I'm
what
trying
we
to
can
say.
see over on Timbo's is the Google page with the tabs.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that what you're
you go
sharing
Yeah.
to? Isn't that what you're sharing
Sorry,
on
it was
Zoom? Because I'm just sharing with Zoom. that's
No,
all
I'm
doing.
sharing. I'll stop sharing for a minute, then I can I
Yeah.
can do it.
Terry, you just need to put the video full screen, and then it'll be
Yeah.
full screen for what
Yeah.
Timbo will be showing out to the YouTube.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just sharing. I'm just sharing Zoom. That's all I'm doing.
You don't
Thanks.
need to share
Okay.
Zoom. You don't need to.
Far out. There's too many cooks here.
Yeah. I was sharing Zoom because that's the easiest thing. So whatever goes on Zoom and that we see, they see. That was all I was doing.
No, you don't need to. That's what I'm saying. Stop sharing. You're not hearing what I'm saying.
What am I sharing?
Go back. You don't
No,
share anything.
nothing.
You don't
Nothing.
share anything. Go back to your avatar.
No, Timbo can't go back to his avatar in here because whatever his webcam that's coming to us is also what's going out on the stream.
Yeah.
Oh, you're still
So-
doing it that way. All right. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Fine.
Yes.
Because I was
It
doing the
was-
quickest.
it
was working, so leave it alone.
So all I need Terry to do is
Terry
hit full screen. Hit full screen. Yep. There, yay. That's fine.
Yay.
That's what I was saying.
Earlier.
Just hit full screen. Okay, go for it, Terry.
That's exactly what I said earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, well.
I don't like Lindsay full screen.
Yeah.
Well,
Just do it yourself.
Now, can you please push play?
above the air.
Yeah.
Milky Way comes in here. It's out here. Because we only see so much per night. For 24 hours, right? We only see a partial image of the sky, of the air, as this thing moves around. Well, you know, night swings around. But it's all on here. And I've done an earlier video where I used the obelisk. I knew it was like that, but I couldn't quite figure it out. And I've done videos using the obelisk. The obelisk was the thing that had the four sides had all the constellations on it. So I was nearly there. It turns out they're in here. They're on here. This is turning. The sun
You know I can
is
read things
turning
on
the
his
sun
whiteboard now.
to show all the constellations over the
There you
year.
go.
That's the constellations. You got this moon and the zodiacs. I haven't got that on the top of my head now. I better go back and think about that. If the moon is moving through them every month,
Sorry, there's a slight jittery on my.
maybe
Zoom. It's my fault.
going up and down this way. I don't know. I haven't got that on top of my head. Sorry. We'll talk about that later. So, but this is the way it is. Got the central vortex turning one full rotation up and down for a day, 24 hour. Then you got this rolling 1 degree per day. What else we got here? And that's why we get SETI 1. SETI 1 was a message, an overlay. In SETI 1 we have the hieroglyphs, and see, I think there's a submarine and a Black Hawk helicopter, but it's a hand and something else overlaid with another image to give us those false images. Yeah, as soon as I saw
Did
that,
you
I
say
knew what it all
SETI as in
meant. It was an overlay.
extraterrestrial intelligence?
In actual fact, there's
Yeah,
three
that's
systems
what
going on.
SETI is,
We've got
yeah.
the dual
She
helix
means
Milky
SETI
Way
1.
turning, dual helix per day.
There wasn't a
And the
probe
single
called
vortex
SETI
of the
1 or
black-
satellite.
of the background stars
course it
spiraling
wasn't.
up and down once per day. Then we have the ecliptic plane. There's a trinity in here. Ecliptic plane on the horizon of the black hole. You got the Milky Way and the stars, and they're all doing their own thing, cycles, okay? The sun laps the stars over a year. The sun laps the moon over a month. You've got the rolling of the Milky Way, 1 degree per day, full rotation plus. Then I've got to go. Then I've got to work on the. I've done this in the past, I think. The what do you call it? The great year.
The sensibility of what you're saying.
60, where that comes into it. So maybe with this turning, it's maybe spiraling down. They spiral down into the hole and back up again. They're spiraling up, maybe, or spiraling up. They slowly spiral
Maybe
up,
not.
Maybe not.
come back down for the 25,000 years full
You know,
stop.
having
think
it full screen still doesn't
Up and
make
down,
it any
maybe.
clearer.
No, it doesn't, does it?
No. Maybe the
So
toilet
what
roll
we
is quite
call it, it's still
appropriate, by the way.
garbage.
The
Sagittarius
to-
day,
use of the toilet roll,
Sagittarius
very
night.
appropriate.
Milky Way. Actual sun at the knee joint, and earlier it's mentioned it's the knee joint, so it comes over and kinks. That's the knee joint. Our photon sun at the end
What's
of
the
the
knee
Milky Way.
joint connected to?
So the Milky Way comes curved, then straightens as it goes
Well,
overhead, then starts curving
Some sort
away
of
again
joint
as
that
it moves over
that
your
Lindsay
dome,
uses. I'm not
arc of
sure.
horizon. That's it, guys. Remember that man's arc of
joint
horizon.
would make
Everything
this
is
so
observed
much
by
better.
man's arc of horizon. This is what they tell you live on a spinning ball, because only working on this. Every man has his own view, his own image. This is how the sun passes over.
What about the women
This is
and the
where
kids?
Newton's string theory came into it as fact.
Cats,
You put on a
dogs.
bit of string. Look, it's attached to the string. That is how, imagine the moon like that as well.
String
See it?
theory, is it?
Did you say
Okay.
string
Yeah,
theory?
that's
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
Put it on a bit of string, he said.
Rolling.
You
This
use
is
string
why the
theory.
sun never changes size.
Lindsay.
It might appear to if it's been down the atmospheric conditions,
Jesus.
but it does not. Everything comes over here. Nothing should change its size.
String theory is apparently
Okay.
putting your arc of
But if the
horizon on
moon's
a bit
going
of
in and
string.
out,
Yeah,
you get some. You may get some variation.
you heard it. You heard it. You heard
Way
it
as
here
well.
first.
It's going
Yeah.
over or around the Earth. The other things don't.
Oh my.
Other system bodies don't, but they do this spiral effect. So your night sky stars are doing this winding up and winding back down over 24 hours.
How many toilet rolls did you go through, Lindsay, till you got that right?
There's the curving magnetic fields of Earth all the way around here. Then seen this in the Maoris.
I think
and the
it's got
natives
an ample
artwork,
supply.
This sort of thing. See the sea urchins like this. Down this magnetic field will be the sun anywhere along there on the northern hemisphere, but at the same time it's coming this way from the southern hemisphere. Okay? But this is metaphorically because this is the unseen. We just assume it's in here, moving in and out of here over the year, coming around like this during the day. It's just basically going over our horizon. But its elevation is dropping lower and lower, lower and lower on our horizon, isn't it? Up or down with the seasonal changes. But that's how it's actually working in reality. Like this.
No.
Let me get into something else in a minute. Can't think what it was now.
Was he saying the sun travels north-south?
No, the sun sits in the
Realise all
vortex.
the,
It's only the
all the
reflection. The
planets we
parabolic
see
reflection, or whatever
are
it
the
was. We
resting
can see.
states. All the actions around them. Coming out in a wave. That's why
Don't you
they
start
call it a
pretending
wave.
you understand what's
It's a
going on.
wave. Everything is a wave.
I didn't
It's
say
a
I
wave.
understood it. I just listened.
Everything's a
to what he
wave
said.
in wave form, but its resting state is right in the centre of the wave. That's what it was. Everybody read something. I think the
If you start saying that you
Don't
understand
turn
what
around,
Lindsay's
you
done,
can
you've
go.
been indoctrinated into the
it's
Lindsay
supposed to put on
model
Yeah.
of flatter.
Selfies.
YouTube.
Selfies.
Oh no, which I put over to Facebook, so I'll go with that one. It's about the physicist.
You on Facebook, Lindsay? Can I add you as a
What's her
friend?
face?
Oh.
Here it is. Everyone's seen this woman? Sabin?
No, I heard Sabine.
Sabine.
Well, she's on about the weather,
Been.
the wind, and all that. Go check that video out, Gulf Stream, and I'll tell you what I did.
You ever listen to her
Put her on
music
marker.
video?
Earth is round. She's trying to tell us Earth is not flat. She's showing us a ball. You got that right. But why are you holding a ball / sphere with a big laughing face? Nobody here seems bright enough to realise you just mentioned the dielectric tropical gap in the Earth's magnetic field that creates the avoidance zone whereby sea currents and wind currents do not link between the two hemispheres. You know? Earth's magnetic field is in the wind. The Egyptians tell us this. The ancient Egyptians tell us this. And it just works.
No, they don't. They're all dead.
How would a magnetic field flow if all were equal? The Earth's wind flows because it isn't equal. So why the ignorance of a magnetic field? Your simple science stops short, only stating the north and south poles energy fields in total are equal. That is correct. But you people are not bright enough to realise its magnetic cycle has a 2 to 3 ratio that must exist for the field to flow. I think physicists by now should understand that nature is out to find its resting state as an equilibrium. It is the constant movement that creates life. If the Earth was a sphere with equal hemispheres, there would be no imbalance for movement. We would all cease to exist. You people don't even understand this basic concept, so there is no point explaining the rest. I will say this though, just to help the simple-minded, the Earth's magnetic field's avoidance zone at the tropics causes the field to curve more sharply, veering more west than north or south. Hence, where a magnetic bearing has silly science claiming a wider equator on their comedy ball. Your spinning ball Earth is a joke and an insult to any reasonably intelligent human being. But there's obviously not many in this world, is there?
Who's they reading that
So
from?
check out her video.
I don't know.
This is Sabine. I don't know.
And then look for my comment.
Oh,
Oh,
he,
he put
put a
comment.
comment on her
They
video.
don't know the
Yeah.
fairs, and yet they'll
Yeah.
get up there and say the
It sounded like the
stupidest
sort of
thing.
thing that
When
he
you know
would
the
say,
system,
like,
it's the
you know.
most
Yeah.
stupid
Oh, it is
statement they
easy.
make.
Because she's
Yeah.
holding
Not
up a
understanding
ball
this,
in the weather.
This tropical gap is the blown up version of what's happening back in creation. This point here. The wind, they know the wind comes like this, does this. Look, they know the wind does that. Well, it's the magnetic fields in that wind, it shoots down to the earth, comes along back up like this, down.
The wind goes in
this.
different directions, Lindsay.
It's a no-brainer. But that's it, guys. We'll end it there, eh? Thanks for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe, like something. Get you on the next video.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thanks.
What?
Yeah.
What? It didn't just
Do we
finish.
have to? That's it.
That's it.
He actually said goodbye.
I know.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah,
cut out. Wow.
Yeah. What's wrong with
Yeah,
you?
he must have realised that was about to cut off.
Who are you, and what have you done with the real Lindsay?
Yeah, where's the
Uh,
good
how,
Lindsay?
how do I get back to normal?
Just shut your
When does
screen.
the face
Stop
come
sharing.
off to reveal the lizard creature underneath?
Yeah.
Just stop sharing. Yeah.
Did that work? Stop share.
Yep.
Oh, well,
There
I
we go.
found out
But
when
I
he was
had-
talking
yeah,
about.
but I was
go ahead.
big and I had to work out how to go little again.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, when he mentioned Seti I earlier on as well, he's actually talking about a pharaoh, 19th dynasty
Oh,
pharaoh. apparently.
that's SETI,
Oh.
not. I wasn't sure
Seti
which.
I, yeah.
Was he referring to SETI?
Yeah.
You know,
This
not
is
Search for
SETI
Intelligent
Alpha
Life.
1.
Not SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence.
No, not that Seti. No, this is a pharaoh apparently.
Or
It's
even
what's-
the SETI at Home project.
Not even
SETI
that.
Alpha 1, where they left Botany Bay. Come on, you'll know.
Otherwise known as Menmatre or Seti I was the second pharaoh of the 19th dynasty of Egypt during the New Kingdom period.
Oh, I remember him. He never stood his round down the pub. Yeah, bastard.
Nah, that's right.
Yeah.
Tight.
Yeah, I always thought you were a bit ancient because he ruled from 1294 or 1290 BC to 1279 BC. So yeah,
It was a wanker.
yeah, well you are a bit ancient. Yeah.
He ruled after the pyramids. Then
Yeah, he was the son of Ramesses I. There you go, a little bit.
yeah. No, it's just that Lindsay has claimed that the pyramids show that this is what the Egyptians said. So he's referring to Egyptians that were around about 2,000 years after the Great Pyramids were built. So don't even know when they can't even get the people write. So the Great Pyramids are about 3,000, 4,000 BC. Yeah.
Not Ramesses Niblick III. Kaplunk, kaplunk. Where's my triple?
Oh, that's bad fun. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know you do. As soon as you hear Ramesses, you go, yep, it's that one.
Yeah.
So,
I must watch some of them again.
Oh, same here. I was watching Stake Your Claim the other night.
Stake your claim.
yeah. Claim.
My claim is I can burrow through an elephant.
Oh, God, oh, bloody hell, yeah, that's going back.
Yeah. No, that's not your claim. That's not your original claim, is it? It is.
It is. Oh, dear, yeah.
Well,
So, do we want to do another video then?
Don't tell him, Pike.
No, we've done our videos. Unless
Done our
we've got
videos.
another dirt one,
There you go.
which I didn't plan
What's the
on.
time? 11:30. Okay. Just curious while we were working.
or do you need this?
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, it's gone full screen.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Oh,
Do you want him to
I
stop
can't
it?
turn it
Can you
back.
minimise it for Terry? That's too much.
No, I'll fix it.
The one on the right, at least you're showing a face. Don't usually see the face.
Got a face? Oh, yes,
I
that's
can't.
right.
What do you
Well,
need
I
that
can't
for?
see. What do you mean I can't see the one on the right? Something's blocking it.
All right. Are you ready?
Terry's
for
trying to
our
work out how to
quiz?
get rid of the
Are you ready?
Yeah,
people.
yeah, I got it. Oh, now I can see the one on the right.
Okay. Here you go.
All right, but it's
Question number 1. It's a hard one this week. Yeah, but there are some easy ones in it still.
Oh, it's time to go and make
Okay.
me coffee then.
Question 1. In the soft lithography method MIC, mimic, this phenomenon moves the pre-polymer into the stamp's mold, and then the pre-polymer is cured to form the desired microstructures.
Oh, that's too easy.
Oh, yeah, that
What is-
that makes sense.
What
yeah.
is this phenomenon?
Matt, can you give the answer for me while I can't read.
Yeah, okay. It's that one of them.
Yeah. Just as long as you spell
Okay.
it right.
One of
Give you
them.
another clue then. Soil characteristics can be experimentally determined by measuring this phenomenon and then analysing the results with the Lucas-Washburn equation.
Phenomenon.
What is this
Do, do,
phenomenon?
do, do,
But do-
Phenomenon.
Do.
42.
Not adhesion, no. Although it does actually rely on some adhesion. Microfluidic devices without external pumps rely on this phenomenon.
I think Irish Stew's got the answer.
Big Blue has got the answer.
What, Gary's elastic bands?
Yeah.
So has Timbo Turtle.
I'm sure it doesn't. Yeah.
Is your Google Foo working well tonight, Timbo?
I got it a
This
second,
phenomenon,
yeah. So yes.
yeah,
Go.
this phenomenon drives the analyte in lateral flow assays,
Phenomenon.
not vacuum
Phenomenon.
forming. No.
Type phenomenon into.
There you go. Clive Wells has got it. Well done, Clive.
Oh!
It is indeed a pillary action, yeah. This phenomenon moves the transfer buffer through the gel containing denatured DNA fragments and into the nylon membrane in sullen blotting.
I still wouldn't have got it.
The Young Laplace equation is used to show that the vertical rise due to this phenomenon is inversely proportional to diameter. And this phenomenon is caused by a combination of cohesion and adhesion. What phenomenon moves liquids up thin tubes It is indeed capillary,
Capillary
action. Yeah.
That's
How
my
many times
little
did you?
blues work.
How many times did you say phenomenon in that?
Phenomenon.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay. Question 2.
true.
Erastus Brainerd. That's a great name.
Brainerd.
Erastus Brainerd. Yeah. Repeatedly advertised his home city as the gateway to this event in his local newspaper. What event was this?
Don't know yet. I might hold off on the Google food. Let's see what we get.
How quick? Who's got the quickest Google food?
Oh, I gotta wait. I want to try and get this one.
So-called stampeders who participated in this event killed over 3,000 animals en route to it, giving Dead Horse Gulch its name. What was this event? Which one, Farmer's Boy?
Oh, okay.
Oh God, there's a few, weren't there? Shit.
There was, yeah.
Yeah. Vaudeville actress Kate Rockwell made a fortune during this event, performing to workers who got their nickname from carrying pouches of sourdough starter while working. Not a land crab, Timbo Turtle.
Oh, that's how you spell that. Is it? Hang on. That's how you spell it.
In a wharf shootout during this event, Frank Reed killed the gangster Soapy Smith.
No, it's not.
That's the one, Farmer's Boy, but
Is
it's
it?
actually
Oh.
given a name.
Oh.
That's where it was, but what is the name of this gold
Oh.
rush?
God.
Oh,
Now-
the name of the Gold Rush. Oh, okay. All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
For his ability to carry large loads across the Chilkoot Trail during this event, a taggish man was given the nickname Skookum Jim.
I know where
Yukon
it
is
is.
the territory where it was, but what was the name of this gold
I can't
rush?
think what the bloody name was.
I'm trying to think of a.
There's a there's a game of solitaire named after it. Sightings at
oh.
Bonanza Creek caused Skagway and Dawson City
Oh, except
to
it's
become
spelled.
boom towns during this event.
Sorry, it's not spelt that way, but uses a different letter. No, not even that.
No, Timbo, that's not anywhere near how it's spelled.
Were you just having a stab in the dark?
That's funny.
I know the game, but
He wrote Condacue. That's not.
What?
I'm gonna have to
Name
Google how to
this gold
spell
rush
it.
took place near the border of Alaska and the Yukon Territory. Name the gold rush. What is it? Which one?
Oh God, what was it bloody called?
Yeah, do you know which one it was?
No, I can't remember.
Like I said, there is
There you
There you go.
There you go. I think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's how you spell it too.
That is indeed how you spell it, Alan Evans. Not how you spell it, Terry.
Nah.
Nor M2M.
Really? That's not how you spell it.
Timbo's got it right though, and so
Yeah,
has
yeah.
Alan. Yeah.
Because I play it every
So
day.
you want the correct
Klondike
spelling?
Gold Rush. Klondike with a K. Klondike with a K.
Oh.
Yeah. The Klondike Gold Rush.
Problem is, there were quite a few gold rushes,
There were, yeah.
and not just
Oh,
in the
with a
States
K.
either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Klondike, yeah.
Yeah, I only got it because of
Remember it
the solitaire game. That was all I got.
Yeah.
That didn't help at all.
Your standard solitaire
I don't
is
play
Klondike.
solitaire.
Yeah, it's called Klondike.
This one you might think you know the answer, but you
I'll play
probably
Free Cell.
get it. You're probably going to get the answer to this one wrong.
Okay.
Plasmas with finite value for this quantity experience tearing mode instabilities. What is this quantity? This quantity for a plasma is proportional to the Coulomb logarithm in a formula derived by Lyman Spitzer. Let's get on to the easier clues. It's not mobility or scattering time, but this quantity is broken down into a sum of different sources of it in Matheson's rule? No? Okay. An unexpected minimum in this intensive quantity is due to scattering from magnetic impurities. What is it? No? A skin depth equal to the square root of twice this quantity over frequency times permeability describes the fall off of AC current density. What is this quantity?
Still none the
No.
wiser.
No. No good.
The reciprocal of this quantity times the electric field equals current density by the microscopic Ohm's law. What is this quantity? It's going to go down to the last bit. This intensive
Alan.
quantity, measured in ohm meters, is the reciprocal of conductivity. What is it?
Alan should know this.
Not a clue.
What's the reciprocal of conductivity?
There you go.
What is it, Alan? It's
Resistance.
not. Big Blue's got it right. It's not resistance. Timbo's got it wrong. It's not resistance, Timbo.
No. Yeah, no. You said that. Got that.
No. What quantity describes how difficult it is for current to flow? It is
I would have
not
thought-
resistance.
Not resistance. Okay.
No.
Yeah. Well, if it's-
It's related to resistance, but it's not resistance itself.
I had a guess. It's a stab
See
in the
what
dark.
Farmer's Boy guesses. Not impedance, Farmer's Boy.
No, guy, it's electric, so I ain't got a bloody clue about
Hads has had a good go at it, but misspelt, but I think I know what he means. But Clive Wells has got it absolutely right. It is resistivity, not
Oh.
resistance.
Oh, that's cruel.
That's cruel, isn't it?
That is
Yeah.
cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Resistivity, folks, not resistance.
Resistance is futile
Yeah,
Resistance.
that's,
and all that.
as an answer, it is.
Yeah.
All right, question 4. An object symbolic of guarding people with this status is inscribed with the word Shaddai and contains a sole piece of parchment with the shimmer.
Whatever that is.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds...
What is this status? What
Related
are
to
people
Ju-
with this status?
I thought that was cat food.
I think it's something related to Judaism. I think, but I
Sounds like
might be wrong.
You might be on the right.
Shaddai.
Die.
Shaddai.
The Israeli Mint makes sets of holy coins that meet the required 102 grams of silver offered at an event about people with this status. What is this status? No? Okay. At a pigeon harbin, 5 shekels redeem a person with this status. What is this status?
They're a talon for an old ex-leper. Half a dinar for me bleeding life story. That pleases some people. That's just what Jesus said to them.
Yeah.
I
Well-
ain't got a clue.
While faking this status, one man says that God granted good fortune for him to quickly prepare a meal. It's not Judas, no. The clues are going to start getting easier now. Rebecca used goat skin to help a person impersonate this status. Do you know your Bible?
Yes.
What did Rebecca do?
Is it that?
Let's see what Timbo's right. That is the one, Timbo, yes.
Oh.
Yes, I do know that story.
After returning from a hunt, a person foolishly trades his status away for a mess of pottage. Not leopards,
Same person, actually.
Not slaves. Ah, dear. Mezuzah symbolized the lamb's blood that the Israelites smeared on the doorposts to save people with this status from the angel of death. What is this status? Hey, Dora's got it right there now. Well done, Dora. It is the firstborn, yes.
Oh,
People with what familial status were killed by the 10th plague? It was the firstborn, yeah. Okay, question 5. Okay. The creation of Walt Bogdanich's 13-part mini-series on this industry is detailed in Alan Brandt's history titled for this industry's century. What is this industry? Mike Moore's 1994 lawsuit against 13 companies in this industry prompted those companies to reach a master settlement with 46 state attorneys general. What is this industry?
No, that's not what
I'm
I just said.
expecting this one to go off fairly quickly now. Not Wall Street newspapers.
No, it's not. Yeah, just reading. Yeah.
A longitudinal study by Dole, Hill and Peto at the University of Oxford inspired Luther Terry's crusade against this industry.
there you go. I
What is
think I've got
this
the
industry?
answer. I think I've got the answer to you now. I think.
Not journalism.
No.
Big Blue's got it right.
Ooh.
think it's
Marshmallow
that.
toasting. Marshmallow tasting. No. The namesake of Duke University, James Buchanan Duke, founded a company in this industry.
Duke and Duke.
Yeah.
I don't think that's right, but
Not farmer. Not farmer's boy.
Not farmer.
No. But Alan Evans has got it right. Timbo, it's not finance either.
no.
No. Feminists displayed torches of freedom in an advertising ploy for this industry created by Edward Bernays. A company in this industry abandoned the slogan "mild as May" for a controversial cowboy played by
Oh,
Darrell Winfield, who was intended to appeal to manliness. Now you know what it is, don't you?
yeah.
It's actually what I was
Or
trying to think of.
as we call them over here.
And I think it was Larry who got it first back there.
Yeah. There was the big three, and I'm
in the
trying to think.
peanuts.
The
It was
the big
indeed.
three.
Cigarettes or tobaccos. Yeah, tobacco industry.
Oh.
Name this industry whose products were advocated by the Marlboro Man.
Ah.
It was tobacco.
Do
Yeah.
you know
I'm smoking
one of my?
a fag.
Did you know one of my cousins was a Marlboro man? He was one of the
I
models.
like this
okay.
little graphic. What's this graphic supposed to symbolise?
Hang on a sec.
Killing you.
No, smoking makes you bad at running. Yeah, the tobacco industry. Yeah. All right, question 6. A hand holding a flag with this symbol on it appeared alongside a bottle, a dagger, and a grenade in the logo for the Black Hand. What is this symbol? It's another easy one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Carl Sagan proposed this symbol as the solution to a problem posed by the US Department of Energy about nuclear semiotics.
I think it's that, isn't it? Could be wrong.
What
Could be wrong.
is
Could
the
be wrong.
symbol? That's not the complete answer,
Oh,
Timbo.
well. that then.
The issue of children making incorrect associations about the symbol led Pittsburgh doctors to design a fluorescent green face named Mr. Yuck to replace it.
Mr.
What
Yuck.
is this symbol?
Mr. Yuck. Happy
Oh,
grandfather
I put in-
Nurgle then.
Must die tired.
Any variation I can put in of that, what I said before.
That's the one, Timbo, yeah. The 3rd SS Panzer Division was named after the German word for this symbol, Totenkopf.
Well, I know what that
Farmer's
means.
Boy's got, Farmer's Boy's got it now.
Well, I know what Totenkopf means.
Totenkopf, direct translation, does it mean dead head?
Mm.
No,
Probably
but
does.
That's not the actual symbol.
No, I know that. I'm just saying that Totenkopf.
Could be that.
Not the radioactive symbol, no. The number 322 is significant to an organisation named for this symbol, the oldest secret society at Yale.
Can't be that secret. We know about it.
Yeah.
There you go. Dora's on fire tonight. It's Skull and Bones, or Skull and Crossbones,
Bones.
is the symbol. Yeah,
The
a
symbol
flag
from
featuring
17
this symbol. Yeah, a flag featuring this symbol, meant to intimidate prey ships, was flown by Edward England and Black Sam Bellamy, but likely not by Blackbeard.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's right.
Also, the regimental symbol of the 17th, 21st Lancers.
Oh, okay.
Death head,
Death
yeah.
or glory.
Oh yeah, Death of Glory.
Yeah. Nameless danger signifying symbol found on the Jolly Roger. Yeah. The skull and crossbones. I want to know what the children were misinterpreting it as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had to be replaced
Maybe
by
if you-
a green face called Mr. Yuck.
Yeah, maybe they thought that if you drank it, you could have X-ray vision.
It's probably more that they didn't realise
Yeah,
it meant
maybe.
death, and so they didn't realise
Yeah.
it could kill you.
You're gonna kind of take that sort of image as a warning, aren't you? You'd think.
Well, if you know what
You
the
kind of
skull
are,
is,
yeah.
Yeah.
when you're little and you don't know what a skull
Oh,
is.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, I was actually right about the translation for Totenkopf. Death head.
Yes.
I said
Yeah.
dead head.
Yeah.
It's a
And-
skull.
And actually, a lot of German tank crew got confused with the SS because they had that symbol on their uniforms, but of course they weren't members of the SS. Just sort of slip out.
These values are the longer of the two types of values discovered and communicated with the stun protocol, which is used as part of the ICE protocol.
In-car entertainment. Wow, I mean that's no.
What are these values?
I'm sorry, I haven't a clue.
No?
No.
Yes, you
you've
have.
got
You've
two
got one clue.
Got two clues now. A protocol name for this shipworm, Teredo nivalis, embeds obfuscated information in these values to avoid probabilistic rewrite behavior. What are these values?
Let me guess. Where's my thing gone? Where's my check gone?
In a zone file, these values are contained in A and Quad A resource records. What are they?
Is it that? Or spelt correctly?
It is that, Timbo. But you were comprehensively beaten by the star of the show tonight, who is
Did she? Yeah, no, she got it.
Dora.
Yeah.
Yes,
She can just
got
type
it
faster than I
long
could.
ago. IP addresses and ports. So just
Okay.
IP addresses is the answer I was actually after, yeah.
Computer shit.
These values are dynamically assigned by DHCP servers, with manual assignment used only for special cases. NAT translates between local and global instances of these values found in packet headers. These logical, not physical values have been practically exhausted for a protocol that represents them in the dot decimal notation.
Yeah. Gone to IPv6. So.
Computers always identify themselves with the same one of these values, 127.0.0.1. That should have given it away. Name these values that identify devices on the internet. They are IP addresses. Yeah.
IP, man.
Yeah. IP.
IP.
Yeah. IP Man. Yeah, I've watched those movies.
Yeah,
All
I
wonderful
watched them
Christmas,
in
Fernand.
Well, except for the first one. First one was in foreign language, and I didn't bother
Yeah, but-
watching that one.
I watched it.
Oh
From the
no,
first one.
they're usually the best versions, the originals.
Yeah.
Better than the first one, I think. Better than the last one, I think, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Question 8. These two figures are spoofed in a Lillian Hellman inspired short film by Peter Spears that resulted in a cease and desist order. Who are these two figures?
Don't know. Never heard of Peter Spears or Lillian Hellman.
In 2018, Mark Saltzman claimed that the dynamic between these two characters was inspired by his relationship with Arnold Glassman. Who are these two characters? The Jack Hunter work moment of joy, which shows these two characters watching TV, was used for the cover of a New Yorker article about Proposition 8, to the fury of these characters' create.
No, may not be
Who are
them.
the
May not be them.
That's the one, Timbo.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Not Bill and Ben. Not Waldorf and Statler.
Should be
Not
Statler.
Spy versus Spy. Not Whitson and Nathan Thompson. No. It is debated whether these characters' names were inspired by a policeman and a cab driver from It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, probably, definitely.
Not Britney and Jamie Spears. Oh dear. One of these characters sang Doing the Pigeon, while the other sang about a yellow and chubby bath toy in Rubber Ducky. Not Pete and Peter, but Hads has it right out there with Ernie and Bert, or more commonly known as Bert and Ernie.
Good grief.
Well done. Frank Oz and Jim Henson were the original portrayers of what pair of Muppets that Sesame Street claims are best friends? It was indeed Bert and Ernie.
But which one is Bert? Which one is?
Well, they
Oz
should be
and
able
which
to
one's Henson?
Well, I think Judy Bassett actually got it right. It's Pete and Peter.
Yeah. Peter and Pete, yeah.
Well, it would be interesting to see if these two characters could see an orthogonal view, hey? Because they're Muppets, right?
Yeah.
And they've got Muppet vision.
Muppet Vision, yeah.
Muppet Vision.
Why do they call that Muppet Vision?
What,
I
Muppet
don't
Vision?
know.
God
Have I
only
been
knows.
have I been drawing sections and elevations in Muppet Vision?
In Muppet view. Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Well, Muppet
I
View
could
is
have
from
sworn
the
it's orthographic
from the
projection,
bottom.
but hey.
Muppet
Yeah,
Vision
yeah.
is from the bottom.
Yeah.
So.
Next time you hand one of your drawings over, Farmer's Boy, you have to say that here's the Muppet Vision drawing. See what they say. Question 9. The air density inside these devices is increased by using other devices that typically have a twin scroll design with two wastegates. What are these devices?
That's a
I
guess.
don't want what the other devices are called. I want what the original devices are called.
Oh, okay.
Not turbo superchargers.
Is it what I
No.
guessed?
That's
Because that's the other device.
Oh, that's the other device.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
Well-
the other device. Yeah.
I'm guessing now.
The performance of these devices is improved by VVT and VVL, which
Right.
in simple implementations just switches between two cam profiles. What are these devices? Yeah, you got it right now. Big Blue's got it right. Farmers Boys got it right. Not jet engines, not turbochargers. Come on, peanuts.
Jet engines don't have turbochargers.
No, they don't.
They are in
Simply
effect.
are.
They are a turbocharger, really.
Yeah. In these devices, IVO occurs a few degrees before top dead center, and IVC occurs a few degrees after bottom dead center due to the ram effect. What are these devices? Not bagpipes.
Like that.
Oh dear.
I prefer. I think I prefer different devices with the same name.
In the United States, the working fluid of these devices is rated with the R plus M over 2 method, with higher ratings necessary for higher compression ratios. What are they? That's the one, Red Knots. I can give it to you because I know what that means. ICE stands for what?
Internal combustion.
Combustion engine.
That is the one, internal combustion engine, yes. I'll just zip through the rest of the clues because you know it now. It's the internal combustion engine, yeah. And your last question. The idea for a film titled for this character was stolen from everybody, according to its screenwriter, Dan O'Bannon, who had earlier worked on the special effects for Alejandro Jodorowsky's never realized adaptation of Dune. What is this character?
I know Dan O'Bannon. I know some of the stuff he's done, but
Okay. Bole Badeo's only credited role was as this character, whom cinematographer Derek Van Lint depicted in a shot followed by a scream and a close-up of the ginger cat Jonesy.
Oh,
That
that's
gives it
easy.
away.
There they go. That's what it is.
Is this character?
Is it
that gives it away.
Is that it? Or one of them?
That's the one, Farmer's Boy. That's the one, Timbo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
No, it's not Universal Soldier. No, I'll tell you that.
No,
It's
it's not.
Not. No. This character's purity, unclouded by conscience, remorse, or delusions of reality, is praised by Ash, who turns out to be an android.
He's a goddamn robot.
He is, but he wasn't. He was an android.
But that's what he says. Hey, he's a goddamn robot.
Not Bagpuss.
Ah, hey, don't diss the bagpuss. You didn't hear that, okay? Bagpuss in space. No, you can hear you yawn.
Yeah, this character's design was inspired by H.R. Giger's print Necronom 4.
His artwork was really out there. It was quite
Yeah, it was.
something else.
It was quite phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And we'll give that one to Fred Knotts,
Fred.
who
Yep.
but Alien.
Because he spelled it
That
right
is
where he didn't.
In an iconic shot aboard the Nostromo, this character viscerally emerges from Kane's chest. That should have given it away.
Oh, I'm changing my profile picture. Hang on, I've got the perfect one for this.
Sigourney
chest break.
Weaver's Ripley, not Riley, Ripley confronts what title xenomorph in a 1979 Ridley Scott film? It is Alien.
Chest burster. Yeah.
Excuse me? A Xeno what? It's a bug hunt.
Xenomorph.
Xenomorph.
Yeah, he
They're,
goes, a Xeno what? It's a bug hunt.
Yeah. That's a spoof
Nice.
that you're playing, obviously.
And that was your quiz for today.
Thank
There you
you.
Oh, thank
and,
you, Paul.
And there's a very appropriate avatar for it.
Very good.
Poor old Zippy.
Poor old Zippy, yeah.
And we all know what
As soon
killed
as
off
it
the
said
alien series.
Dan O'Brien, I thought, right, I know some of the stuff he did, and I just wanted one more clue to confirm that it was indeed. Yeah. That's good, because I blew it out the goddamn airlock.
Yeah. And we all know what killed off the alien, well, the Ripley version of Alien. It's Alien 3.
Do you know, that's the only film that's ever made me cry.
Alien 3?
Alien 3. I was watching it at the cinema and I nearly lost a contact lens because I felt a tear well up in my eye, and as I wiped my eye, my contact lens came out, stuck to my finger, and it's like, oh shit, quick, no, put it back in.
So was that like in the
Of
first...
all the films I've watched, it took Alien 3 to bring a tear to my eye when she lobs herself in the furnace. It's like, no, Ripley, don't.
Oh, I lost
That's
interest.
okay, because she came back for the fourth one. So.
I lost interest after the first, whatever, seconds when Newton, were dead. I was like, no. Don't care anymore.
I think a lot of the problems that film suffered from was down to Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
Because she insisted that there would be no guns, no weapons. Because I think on the tails of the second film,
Yeah.
she didn't want it to go the same way, and she didn't want any, and that's why there are no guns in the film at all, and that was down to her.
Yeah. Oh, I just think.
I think that and various things they were trying. Originally, the alien was gonna burst out of a bullock, a bull, and they couldn't get that to work. So they said, well, how about a dog? And there's actually footage and photos of them dressing up a dog in an alien suit. And they just couldn't get the dog to behave how they wanted. And that's why in the end it went CGI.
Yeah.
Because they just couldn't do it. They couldn't get the dog to wear its alien suit and do what it was supposed to do. But there is film of you can see they haven't got the head on it. So there's the dog's head, and then he's got an alien suit on him, and very strange.
As the saying goes, in films, don't work with children and animals.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that was also, they've been writing about this for a while, that the whole shape of the alien was dependent on what its host's creature had been. And that's why in the third film it looks more like a dog, because it came out of a dog.
They changed it to that law. It wasn't the original intention. But then they started to muck with the alien. So that's why it gets a bit weird in some of the later films. Effectively, the alien being part human.
Yep. There's
Even
talk of them having another go at Alien, but I don't. They've been talking about that for years.
Even Predators stopped
it's
hunting
like
the
most-
aliens.
Yeah, it's like most of those. It's like it just gets progressively worse. If you ask me, in most sequels, it's just not worth it. I think Alien 1 and 2, Alien and Aliens. I think that was about as far as.
Yeah.
3 just killed it. for
They
me.
were equally good films. But after that, it's just like I didn't like it much.
I mean, the fourth one had some nice touches in it, but
overall, it's a bit weird.
it wasn't good.
It's the same with Rocky 1 and 2, and then that's it. After that, the rest were just rubbish.
Never watched them.
Yeah.
They're all the same. Look at the Predator films. Yeah, the first one was a classic. The second one, not so bad. And then, oh dear.
Yeah, Prey isn't too bad. It's a bit of a good comeback. But
No, I enjoyed that. That's as a standalone. Let's have another, a different look at it. That was, I enjoyed that. It was a good
because
film.
they didn't have any of the rubbish of the last other in it, so it was just a good film. Yeah.
Star
So
Wars
you didn't like Prometheus then, Farmer?
No.
No.
Star Wars is different because that was based on books. The books were already written before the first film came out, and they didn't put it in sequence anyway. Because the first film was based on the third book, wasn't it, or something?
Fifth.
Third
Star
book or
Wars?
stuff? Yeah.
Fifth
Star Wars.
film.
The first Star Wars film, A New Hope. That's book 4.
Book 4.
Five.
There you go.
First 3 films were basically books 4, 5. It was 4, 5, and 6. Then he went back and did 1, 2, and 3 as the prequels. Yeah.
Why they couldn't do the first film actually on the first book, I have no idea. But there we go.
I don't think they quite thought it was going to be as big as it was. It was meant to be a big great film.
I think he was going for, which of these books, if I turned it into a film, which of them am I going to get the money for? Which of them are the studio going to go for? I think
Yeah, true.
I think an awful lot of that came into it. Oh, shut up, you.
Squeak, squeak.
Yeah, hell. Better. Yeah, but it's like the whole Aliens and Predator universe. They've been doing. I think it was Dark Horse Comics have been doing comics for it for years, and I'd already read what was going to be Aliens versus Predator. I thought if they do a film of that, that's going to be good. And of course, when they actually did Aliens versus Predator, it was nothing like it. It's like you had a good story there, and you've just ignored it and started again from scratch.
Do you know
Change
Star
the
Wars?
subject completely.
Oh,
Go on.
I like
No,
talking
sorry,
films.
go ahead.
I was going to say, very quickly, the Star Wars killed Dune. You know, when they tried to make the first Dune movie, because Lucas had stolen so much from Dune that when they tried to make the film, they said, "Oh, we can't do this because they just think it's going to be a Star Wars knockoff." So they changed a whole lot of things so it didn't look so Star Wars-ish. Anyway, you were going to say, change the subject.
So it doesn't look so Star Wars-y-ish.
Yes. Well, that's,
Uh,
yeah.
I know what you mean, yeah, and I'm just taking a look. Just I didn't know there was such a word, Star Wars-y-ish.
I just made it up, so.
I was just going to
Therefore-
say, did you did you all hear that James Webb is broke?
It's broke? What?
Oh,
Can't pay its bills.
It's broke.
Has it been gambling too much?
Yeah. Ain't working. Well, part of it ain't working. One of its sensors apparently is quite a crucial one as well. It's not working.
Oh, just nick up and fix
it's
it,
one of
can you?
these spectrometers. Yeah, the infrared spectrometer is not working. But they don't think it's an asteroid. They don't think the hardware itself is wrecked or anything. There's some sort of glitch, and they're having difficulty trying to get it restarted. Apparently, I mean that was a couple of days ago. But whether that's been fixed yet or not, I don't know. But yeah, they can't do infrared spectrometry. You know that word.
Can they
Yeah,
just ring tech support?
Hello, technical support.
But isn't that a key part of what the James Webb was supposed to be doing, infrared?
Pretty much, yeah. Well, they've got various infrared sensors, but this one
I know,
is
but
particular,
that's yeah.
particular to for exoplanets to to among other things to analyze the atmosphere, potential atmosphere.
That's the problem of putting something out there that far out. Well, I say that at the moment. They're having much discussions about giving the Hubble a bit of a boost up. I mean, fuck me, that's on our doorstep. This thing's a million miles away, and we've got absolutely no way of getting there and getting the toolkit out and going, oh yeah, hang on a minute, yeah, I can see what the problem is.
Yeah, well, that's the thing
But
they
isn't
said at
there
the
another
start.
one in development that's going to replace James
Oh yeah,
Webb
there is.
anyway?
Yeah. James
that'll
Webb
take
2,
years.
essentially. Yeah, it's years and years away. Yeah,
That's
probably
years away.
15, 20 years away yet. Yeah. that's
If the
long
pace
way.
of this one was anything to go by. Christ.
But I mean, they said the good news is that that I think it's to do with the internal hardware. Oh, sorry, software, I should say.
Right.
At the moment, so they were apparently they were trying to reboot or something, and they had difficulty with that, or I don't know, something like that.
So they tried turning it off and then back on.
None again.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do.
I think
yeah.
you guarantee that's the first thing they did. Send a signal. Restart.
Yeah. So I don't know any more. There doesn't seem to be much more news about it today so I don't know whether it's been fixed or not. But if it can't be fixed, it's kind of like it's a bit of a crucial instrument involved. So it's not good news. If you can't get
I mean,
it fixed.
if it is a software problem, at least they should be able to upload a patch.
Yeah, that's probably what they end up doing. It's probably a patch they'll have after it, but obviously, they've got to build it. They've got to write it, haven't they? And then send it up. So hopefully that'll fix it. You think it should be fairly simple. I mean, if it was hardware, if the hardware's destroyed, well, that's it. It's game over.
Yeah.
You
You
cannot
can't do
get
anything
fixed.
about that.
But no, they don't think it is that. I think it's,
Software, they've got half a chance, haven't they? Yeah, it's a shame if they can't sort of fix that part of it because it's only been up there 5 minutes compared to how long it took to make the damn thing and get it up there.
I mean, they could still operate. They could still do quite a few things. They could still discover new galaxies and do all sorts of other things. But
Oh yeah.
in terms of things like, one of the key things was they wanted to look at exoplanets. But this is a crucial instrument for that.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't be able to do as much work on exoplanets as they would hope. But they should, even without it, they should still be able to do some stuff. Get some.
Yeah.
images and
Yeah.
so.
I was going to play
Prone to the,
Blues video.
Space gods.
I was going to play Blues video. You want to listen to Blues video?
Have we got a blues video?
This one.
Sure,
Came
probably
out
have,
this
wouldn't it?
morning. This morning,
Yes.
late last night, whenever it was.
Did it?
Yeah, I
Should be
started.
over-
I started to
be
watch
over
it
there.
last night. I started to watch it this morning or last night, I think it was, but I only got into about a minute of it.
Why isn't it over in Shirley's shoe?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Let's get
Should
it
be
up.
there. I just went through all the videos to grab some. Why
push
isn't
play?
Blues video over there?
Don't know. That's 8 hours ago.
Not
Darren.
there.
8 hours? 8 hours? 8 hours. 8 hours ago, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
8 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd
it's
make
there.
it, what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4 o'clock. Yesterday, 1 a.m. Yesterday,
Do I push play?
yesterday.
Hang on.
Hang on.
Yeah, you're right. It's not showing up.
Yeah, yesterday.
Timbo's got it though.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yesterday,
He's just trying to figure out why it hasn't shown up in his Shield Your Shift.
yesterday.
We'll figure that out later. Shall we?
Yesterday.
Can I push play?
Doesn't matter right now.
Interesting. Well, is Timbo going to try to share it?
Yeah, I got it
You
ready to
play
go.
Timbo?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Tim,
Let's see if it works. Tell me if you can hear it.
No, can't hear it.
No.
How's it? Why can't you hear that? Should be able to hear it. No, let me do it that way.
you need to share it. You need to share it, Timbo.
Yeah, no, I was just.
Yeah, he's not sharing it. He's
Yeah, I was trying to.
he's just got it on his avatar.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You need to share
We
it.
can't
You're not
hear
going to hear
it.
it.
Yes, yes. Give
Not
me,
gonna hear it.
give me a sec. I get it. It should have worked, but it didn't. Let me try something. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Don't panic! Don't panic!
Oh, I'm not
Panic
panicking.
is the main worry.
Okay.
I don't like it up 'em.
I don't like it up them, do they?
Don't tell him, Pike.
Whoops, where'd he go?
Yeah,
I
don't
lost
tell him
it.
your name, Pike.
Where'd he go? Oh, I lost him. Hang on a sec. I must have closed the wrong one. Just pull it up again. Hang on 2 secs. That one. Drag in. Okay. And let's share. That one. Share.
Oh, and the
Stream
other
down
news
said.
is as well, the Starship, SpaceX Starship, they did a wet dress rehearsal and it went fine. It all went well.
Okay.
Might see that launch in a few weeks.
Hear that?
Right, put that in. No.
This is
Oh yeah,
not
can.
one-
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Hang on a sec. I just put that out to
Put it full screen. Put it full
full
screen.
screen and send it to everybody.
There we go.
And we should be in 2 secs. I'm not getting the right one out on the thing. Put that one back up. Oh, where'd Zoom go? Zoom, I lost you. Okay. There we go. Go.
One of those moments. Yeah. Warning, severe facial and monitor damage alert is in effect. Get out those oven mitts. Push the monitors back out of punching range. And let's light this dumpster fire and have some fun.
Sure, because Merriam-Webster does not cover
Yeah, you've
technical
looked at those
things.
definitions and you've just gone, no, not that. There'll be someone somewhere else. Look, there's some guys drawing a
Warning,
biro
severe
picture
facial
of
and monitor
something.
damage alerts on
That'll
effect.
do,
Get out those
because
admits.
the
Push
Merriam-Webster and
monitors
all of
back
the
out
other
of punching
dictionaries,
replay.
that can't be right.
Who's
And
gonna?
let's
Yeah.
light this dumpster fire and have some fun.
So is this a conspiracy
Surely.
that you've uncovered?
Yeah,
Hey
here
everybody,
it is.
Adam Savage from Tested, and I
You've
am
looked at those definitions and you've just gone, no,
Whoa,
not
Andy.
that. There'll be
Yeah,
someone
I'm hearing it
somewhere
twice.
else.
Oh,
Look,
something-
there's
I can hear it in the
guys
background.
drawing a
Warning,
biro
severe
picture.
Okay, I'm just fixing it. Sorry.
On rare occasions, we get to witness moments of sheer genius.
sorry about that.
This is not one of those moments. Warning, severe facial and monitor damage alert is in effect. Get out those oven mitts. Push the monitors back out of punching range. And let's light this dumpster fire and have some fun.
Sure, because Merriam-Webster does not cover
Yeah,
technical.
you've looked at those
things.
definitions and you've just gone, no, not that. There'll be someone somewhere else. Look, there's some guys drawing a biro picture of something. That'll do, because the Merriam-Webster and all of the other dictionaries, that can't be right.
So
is this a conspiracy
Surely.
that you've uncovered?
sure. No.
Are you
it's not.
exposing a conspiracy to keep
Oh, let
every
him talk.
person
Jesus.
who looks at dictionary definition of level under, under a misapprehension of something
People-
that actually isn't?
Most people who use dictionaries don't consult them for deeply technical topics.
Yeah.
And the curvature of the Earth is completely
We're
negligible
not
for
the
most people who
curvature
most
of the
experts.
Earth. We're not talking about the curvature of Earth. You're
Yeah,
talking
because-
about level. Do
Right,
you
and
consider level to
level
be
is-
Earth?
Level is just like
What
a kitchen
kind of
table.
question is
Are
that?
you associating level with Earth?
Yes.
Okay, right. So when you say the curvature of Earth, what you're actually saying is the curvature of level.
Yes.
Okay. So now every time you say Earth, we can put in level as a direct
Level is a
representation. Whenever you're
Well, no, I mean-
talking about the curve.
Right, but I mean,
Okay.
Earth, capital E Earth,
That's good.
is a planet, whereas level is a surface. So,
Okay. So when you're talking
you're
about
not-
the
you're not
curvature,
synonymous.
the curvature of Earth, we
And the
can
curvature of
directly say we're talking about the curvature of level. For
Yes,
Earth,
absolutely.
read level.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Of level.
This is the first time, Bev, that I've completely agreed with you. This is
By the way,
fantastic.
what
I
tools
think we're
make
making progress.
curved lines? I want to know what auto levels make curved lines. How do you?
No,
how do
you could go
read
1,000
line?
square miles, right? You can go 1,000
No, no, no.
square miles with your
Does
surveying
an auto
instruments, and you
level
won't
make
see.
a curved line, Flash?
You're not listening to me. You could go
I just
1,000
asked you a
square
question.
miles, and you will have less than an arc second of spherical excess.
When
Okay,
you
so
say
you can
go
survey
In a
1,000 miles,
square.
How do you go 1,000 miles? In a straight
1,000
line?
square miles, an area of 1,000 square miles, and you can use plane surveying all day
Are squares
and
circles?
not have a problem.
Right, is that, yeah. Can we just go over 1,000 square miles? Is that 1,000 miles squared?
What?
So it would be
What?
100
What did you
miles.
just say?
No,
100
I've heard
miles.
this one before from a flirt who's saying 1,000 miles is
That would be 10.
squared.
That would be 10,000.
Okay, so what were you talking about then?
Okay, so let me just take hold on. Say 1,000.
Did you say
Take the square root, so
1,000
it's
square
approximately
miles?
30.6 miles wide and 31.6 miles depth.
Wow.
Right? 31.6.
So you could
and
go,
31.6.
and that 36 miles, that's the straight line.
Well, you could just go 31 miles east.
Okay, so 31
then
miles
another
by
31 miles
31
north.
miles, let's say, we can make a square. Right,
And
and
that's
that,
approximately 1,000 square miles.
so that would be like a square. When we say square,
It doesn't have to be a square, but it's approximately.
but when
1,000
we
square
say
miles.
square, do we mean square?
Hurry along now, Bev. Your ride is here.
It's
There's now,
slightly deeper.
there's nothing like a globe sophist that can't say whether a square's a square or a circle's a circle.
Well, if you draw a square that's 31 miles on the side on the surface of the Earth, it will not be a Euclidean square.
It will not be a square. So you can't draw a square if it's not a square.
That's why I said square.
No, not what you said. Oh
No.
Okay.
Yeah, if
But
you
you
go-
did say
you
you could
31
have
miles, north 31 miles,
1,000 miles squared.
Square mile. No. I did not say 1,000 miles squared. I said 1,000 square miles. So
Okay.
I was very
So
clear.
that when you said that, did you say square-ish miles?
No,
Or just square
It's a
miles?
measure
So
of-
you did actually say square miles then, right?
It's a measure of
So
area.
it was well worth me pushing you on that definition that you took back.
Square mile.
I'm not
You
taking
can
back
take it
square miles. You can have square miles on a curved surface. You can have square miles on a cylinder, right? So square miles doesn't mean that you're literally making squares. It's just a
It does, because
measure
you're
of area.
literally saying square mile.
No, it doesn't.
That's a mile
It's a
No.
square.
It's a measure of area. You could take
It's a unit.
take an area. You could take the area of a sheet of paper and you could curl it into a cylinder.
Square
It's
miles
still
can be
the
any
same
shape you
area,
want.
even though it's now a curve and you no longer have squares.
But it's a square.
No.
No.
it's not.
No.
It's not a square. You're saying
I swear
a
this is
mile
deliberate.
square. Square mile.
Oh,
it
he's got
is,
it.
yeah.
Square.
It is,
Oh,
yeah.
it can be if it were.
Oh, I mean, nobody's that stupid,
it
surely.
doesn't have to.
There goes your sophistry again.
He's just staring.
No,
He thinks
you're
he's
just
got
not
him.
understanding what I mean.
I'm
by
asking
area.
you whether the square is a
Plain
square.
people
All you have to say
definition
it's
of what
Well,
it
it's
does.
a
yeah,
unit.
square is a square. Absolutely.
Jolly good.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you
Unit.
just need to give up and go with the flow.
Yeah.
That's all, folks.
Yeah.
Did anybody, I mean, if he'd stopped and explained to him and said, look, square miles could be any shape you want it to be. It doesn't have to be a fucking square.
He knows that.
Yeah, I've got a rectangle slab of concrete out there.
He
that's
must
probably
know
about-
that.
It's a
I mean,
unit.
if he doesn't know that as a surveyor, what, I mean, holy hell.
But he's not a surveyor.
He's not
No, he's not a surveyor anymore, is he? No.
No,
No, I
he's
mean-
never been a surveyor.
But he
No.
was. But they didn't pick him up and saying it was it's a unit, square miles, because it's the same as saying a meter.
He knows it's
He's-
a unit of measurement.
Yeah,
He
no,
knows
but I'm
it.
just saying
It's-
it.
It's all part of his stupid semantic game.
Yeah,
But it's like saying
right,
it's
he's got to be.
you can only have a 1 meter if it's a straight line. That's rubbish. You can have a meter of rope and twist it around something. It's the same as a square mile. It doesn't mean
Oh,
that
yeah.
just whatever shape. It's just the unit to measure it.
When he comes out with bullshit like that, whoever's talking to him, at that point you just go, yeah, okay, bye. Because
No
you're
point.
wasting your time. There's
I
no
mean,
point.
his whole premise of his whole argument, he always does, is just playing on words.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you could talk about, I don't know, birthing of giraffes, and it will come back to level somehow. A giraffe's level or something, you know.
Well, they've got to be level
He's
for the
gotta-
draft to
he's
come
just
out.
Always got to come back.
No, but they're not geometric, so he's not interested.
No.
So no spherical giraffes then?
No, no spherical giraffes. All level.
Just spherical cats.
If you mention giraffes, he'll say, are they perpendicular?
Is that Euclidean?
Are they perpendicular? Are they parallel to the horizon? The plane of the horizon, whatever that is.
Is it square or is it square?
Oh, that's
Squarish.
right. The plane of the horizon. Like there's only
There's
one.
only
plane.
one.
There's only one.
So all horizontals are parallel, and the horizon is parallel to the plane of the horizon. So there you go.
So therefore, the Earth is flat.
But he's not a
Yeah.
flat earther.
But he's not a flat
None
earther.
of them are flat
Yeah.
earthers.
I know, it's
No.
crazy, isn't it? He says
It's not-
flat Earth stuff that
it's-
has
no,
to
I'm-
be flat
I'm-
Earth, but he's not flat
I'm,
Earth.
I'm not going to say it again because I'll upset Blue, and I don't.
And then if you, as soon as you go, oh, does that mean the Earth's flat? And you go, no. He goes, no, that's not flat. It's got hills and valleys. Oh,
He's got
geez,
proof.
we're back
He's
to-
got proof it's not flat. He's not a flat earther because he's not saying the Earth is flat.
But
No.
he is saying the Earth is flat without saying the Earth is
No.
flat.
Well, yeah. He's not saying the Earth is flat.
No, he's not saying those words, but in everything else he says, the Earth is flat. Because it has
Of course.
to be. If there's only one plane of the horizon, it's got the other has to be
No,
flat.
Ask him what happens to the sun. It goes away. Ask him about space. It's not real. Ask him about the planet Earth. Earth? What do you mean dirt?
Yeah, it's plausible deniability. That's his whole stick.
Right,
Oh
he
no,
thinks it's-
space. You won't even entertain that idea. You'll see that
Oh, no,
space is like
no.
the empty bit between you and me.
Exactly. That's
Something
the
like
only space he'll talk about.
Yeah, the empty bit between you and me.
So
Because
same bit.
space, as in what we talk about, and satellites and things. No, he's not touching that. But as far as he's concerned, it's not real.
It was like that whole thing he just did then. He wasn't saying he didn't know what a square mile was. He was just turning it around back on the other to sort of say, "Oh, do you mean such and such?" Doesn't mean he never said, "I don't know what you mean."
He must know what a square.
Yeah, but
Yes,
he
he
never
knows
said,
exactly
"I don't know
what
what you mean." He said, "Are you talking about so and so?" You know, he never said, "I don't know what you're talking about." That's just how he works. That's all.
All part of the game.
The bit that's really surprising, you think about how you think 1,000 square miles is a huge area, and then you realise it fits into an area that's only 31 miles by 31 miles.
Yeah, it's not that big actually.
Not nearly as big as you think.
That's right. What else we got?
So what have we got now?
What are we planning on playing, Terry?
No, you tell us.
Well, I got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, who have you got?
Do you want me to tell you?
There'll be a Where's Wally.
Well, yeah, because numbers don't mean anything.
Yeah.
There'll be a
Where's
Simon down at
Wally?
the ends.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who else put videos out this week.
Time Man Dan, Where's Wally, and
There's 2 more.
Probably.
have we heard from Wolfie for a while? I haven't seen any Wolfie.
No.
He ain't done a video in ages.
No, he's done the odd little tiny collab with Wally, isn't he? But not a lot. I miss Wolfie's
probably
videos.
got
actually.
Thermosphere
more important stuff to do, like-
confirms Earth is flat. Is that a clue?
Why did I forget about Everett?
Okay.
Everett.
And then hello, wonderful person.
Of course,
Oh, Anton.
Hello, wonderful people.
So you want me to try to share my in?
Yeah, go for it.
Should work if I do that.
There you go. Now put yourself in full screen.
The Google page.
No. Just the video. Just the video you got there. Go down. There you go.
Yeah, but
There
it's
you
not
go.
in full screen at the moment.
No. You
So
can
I'd
do
have
now.
to. Yeah, but if I do that, I'll go full screen.
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay. All you need to do is unmute and press play, don't you?
There you go.
Yeah.
And press play.
Okay.
Yeah, get unmute and then press play. That's it. That's all you
Bob's
need.
your mother's brother.
That's over here. I'm not used to doing it this way.
Bob's your uncle's funny as you are.
Hi there. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about how the Bible tells us that we live on a flat earth.
Bonzo, no longer in possession of one's faculties, 3 fries short of a happy meal.
And we don't live on a globe spinning throughout space, going 500,000 miles per hour. We actually live right here on the stationary earth. And the Bible tells you in many different ways.
This is the dawning of the age of who gives a crap. The age of who gives a crap.
You can see here in Job 38:14, it tells you that the earth takes form like clay under a seal.
Gives a crap. Who gives a crap?
And as you can see, this seal right here, after it's pressed down on, it would have a raised edge, which would be the ice wall. And the antlers that you see here in the letter R would be like the land because it's raised slightly higher. And then all of the low would actually
That's
be
a bit of a
your
stretch,
oceans
isn't it?
or your
Oh,
water.
And it just
Who gives a
As you can see, the raised edge being the ice wall, it makes much more sense of how the ocean and the water is held in because, you know, no matter how you try to do it, water can't stick to a ball.
Hollywood, my cracker! Wait!
You know who's not been lying to you? This guy.
Come on! That's a bunch of horse.
NASA claims that their International Swimming Station, space station.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he tried to make a joke.
Okay, very good. Very good.
And all of their satellites rotate around the Earth in the thermosphere.
No,
Which
they
is a
don't
funny
rotate.
thing because
No,
the thermosphere,
wrong.
as you can see right here from their website,
Called
gets up to 4,500 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's too young. It's ruining everything. Tell it to stop.
But, as always, when NASA gets caught and gets asked a real question, they come up with some amazing phenomenon to explain it all. Something like, because there aren't enough gas molecules to transfer the heat to you.
That's preposterous. Isn't that the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard?
Awesome.
It certainly is.
Ah.
Well, that's funny because how did they measure that physical heat if it can't be felt by any physical objects?
Oh,
Do they have some sort of thermometer that might do that?
It's a disaster.
I'm just trying to teach you and show you that these people are liars.
You're not very bright, are you?
And then you ask, why would they lie to me?
What is the evil council's plan? It is evil. It is so evil. It is a bad, bad plan that will hurt many people that are good. I think it's great.
Well, answer number one is to hide God from you on a daily basis and to make you think that you're insignificant and floating around on some tiny little helpless ball waiting to be crushed at any second.
What the hell have you people been smoking out there?
yeah, quite.
Trust me, bro.
Oh, I got nothing.
Sort of thing that people like him would say, trust me, bro. They're lying to you. Trust me, bro.
Yeah. It's just, when they just say the same stuff that everyone else says, you say, well, what do you think you're doing?
Yeah, they copied nearly a word for word.
Well, it's frustrating because they say, oh, it's because of such and such. And then you ask, you know, okay, why did you become a Christian? I can pretty much guarantee none of them said, oh, I felt insignificant and that's why I became a Christian. No. And then, why did you become an atheist? Ah, because. No, that's not why people become atheists.
I like that. It was like how do you become an atheist? It's like you don't become an atheist. You just are, or you aren't.
Yeah, you either are or you're not.
Yeah.
Some Christians become atheists.
It's not like something, you know. It's kind of like you're an atheism. You belong to a cult or you belong to a group of people. No, it's just.
Yeah, it's not like you're a chicken and then you turn into a cow or something.
It's just an absence of not believing in God. You know.
I guess technically you're born an agnostic because you don't know.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true.
And then once you get old enough to work these things out for yourself, you either go, yeah, there's absolutely no evidence of any gods whatsoever, therefore I don't believe they exist, I'm an atheist. Or you go, hit me over the head one more time. Thank you, I now believe in God.
It's quite late.
Unless you're in the society with your demographics that indoctrinate you into a religion.
If you are
going to church
unfortunately
and all that stuff.
born to religious parents, then I'm ever so sorry, but you're going to get brainwashed.
Yeah. Yeah, that can happen.
Which I think comes under the heading of cruel and unusual punishment.
What's next, Terry?
What do we got here? That was Everett. Does anyone know where Wally is?
He's over there.
Behind the couch.
Oh. Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Hang on, let me just check. He was. Oh God, he's gone. I don't know. I don't know where he is.
You have to add something to your saying. Make it full screen. Unmute and press play.
Okay.
Terry,
Oh, yeah. Hi, Matt. How you going?
I can start doing my job again now.
Yeah, you can, actually.
Be so kind as to press play. Thank you.
Yeah, I can do that for you.
Oh, that's good.
This particular image is one, according to Ranty, that he's no longer a flat earther. Okay. So what he said was that this tower is a certain height, and I'm going to give you approximates, and I think it's approximately correct.
G'day everybody, where's Wally here? Well, today I'm going to have a word with Jaren, so let's have a listen to what he's got to say.
500 feet. This mountain back here, the very highest peak, is 2,500 feet. And the distance between us and the tower is 12.5 miles, and the distance to the mountains is 50. Okay? I believe that's correct. So basically what you get out of that is you get the mountain is 4 times as far as the tower, right? Because we're at 12.5 miles and the mountain is 50 miles. Therefore, it's 4 times as far. But it's 5 times as high, meaning this is only 500 feet. This is 2,500 feet. So according to drawing things sideways.
According to drawing things sideways? Oh, you can just hear the derision in his voice. They love to hate on Muppet View, don't they? Well, you can always tell when something is hurting them.
Yeah.
They go after it hard.
Like they love to do. Even though we never see like this, it's just their go-to what's called orthographic or Muppet vision.
Never seen this, except right behind you where there is a literal Muppet view of Blackpool, if you care to see it, Jaren.
Exactly in that place, or as some of.
So you'll see here. So supposedly if you draw that's not where your observer is. What's going on here? There we go. So can you put yourself on the ground, please, where you're supposed to be? What's going on? Why are those arrows all over the place? Go there. Come on. Okay, there we go. So anyway, when you draw the lines kind of thing, and you'll notice here he's got basically 1 meter in distance here, and then this would be a total of 4 meters. Wait, if it's 50 and then 12 and a half, yeah, I guess that's right. So, and then the mountain being 1 centimeter and 4.5 centimeters, I still think it's a little more than that. It should be 500 to 2,500. Anyway, when you draw a line from your observer, the mountain should be higher than the tower.
I don't think he
That's
scaled that
what
very
they
good.
think. They don't realize that things reduce in size due to perspective.
Reduce the size due to perspective? Seriously? But this is side view Muppet View. We do Muppet View for Muppets who want to have perspective as a get out of jail free card. Well, in side view, there is no perspective.
Does perspective over distance happen more than in a short? Can you reduce perspective? Meaning, how do I explain it?
What?
If you're looking over
reduce
50 miles,
perspective?
does perspective
How does that
actually
work?
happen more? Does things dip down lower
Variable
more than they would if you were doing that on a
Variable
boost scale? If you
perspective,
said,
yeah.
instead of doing 50 miles, we're just going to do 5.
Jaren sounds confused. I tell you what would help you, Jaren, is the Walter Bislin Advanced Earth Perspective Calculator. It will show you the amount of perspective drop that happens as you increase the distance away.
Lift up your light way above your head. Interesting.
Right? Because we can actually do that and then do the observation so that the camera view is from the very ground level and then see if we can see
Zoom
it.
in?
If we can, think of how hilarious it'll be to be Ranty. Think how funny it will be to clown on Ranty every day that he left being a flat earth for a picture that doesn't prove anything other than the earth isn't a globe.
To clown on Ranty, you say? Haha, well, yeah, it would be, but it won't happen because he's not wrong.
Interesting.
However, Jaren, we can enjoy clowning on you as you are universally wrong. We all do it all the time with just one word.
Interesting.
Thanks for giving us that word, Jaren. Oh, I can clown on you again today as you went full attaboy on No Fanfare's video of the Falcon Heavy launch. Don't believe me? Go and have a look. Well, you could if the video still existed, but guess what? No Fanfare took
not
it
there
down
anymore.
because he was wrong.
Yeah.
But did you check that? No, you just assumed that what the Aussie clown had said was correct. And you just said attaboy to him, so I guess you're wrong too.
Interesting.
However, that single observation is so much more devastating to you flatties. The rocket was accelerating up for 39 seconds before it was visible from Wide Awake's viewpoint. It had to be around 3.4 kilometers high. Then and only then was the rocket at or above eye level and above the trees from Wide Awake's vantage point, and he was 110 kilometers away. That led me to a video taken from Myrtle Beach in Southern Carolina, and it was about 600 kilometers away. This time, the rocket didn't pop up above the horizon until the flight time of around 1 minute and 35 seconds and about 23 kilometers of vertical. Now, we know this as I was very simply able to sync the Wide Awake video and the SpaceX video and a video by Astronomy Live. He was only just over 14 miles away, and he was tracking the rocket and the booster from launch to landing in a single take, no cuts. So it provides a perfect timeline for all the visual cues in Wide Awake's video. So just so you can understand, here's the Muppet view. Remember, we use Muppet view as there is no perspective size change to worry about. It's simply a scaled drawing.
Interesting.
What happens when we give you a front-on view like this from Titusville Beach? Well, you go full clown and say dumb stuff like, rockets go down, landing in the ocean. And if we show you the side view where there is no perspective, it's all the same way. You cry, Muppet view.
Interesting.
If you want to see my 4 rocket video all synced up all pretty like, there is a link to that in the description as always. Okay, so you can see there's 23 kilometers hidden plain as day, right? So we can say tis globe, right? But let's go back to the ranty image. Now, it was taken by Kevin Jackson, who is just some guy. Now, I want to toss a few more images into the mix too. Now, these have been given to me by Stephen Cheatley, and he's a local prize-winning photographer from the Blackpool area. He gave the Flat Earth Globe Earth debate this image a few years ago, and that caused quite a stir. Why? Well, because it shows globe, obviously.
Interesting.
But Stephen, seeking a sense of fair play, decided to take a photo back the other way. He went to Snæfell and looked back to Winter Hill. Now, the effect is absolutely beautiful, and yet again, when you look at the known heights, all you can say is, tis globe.
Interesting.
Now, I'll leave a link to the full images in the description as always. So if you flatties, or level is horizontal is flat guys, want to have a look, then you have no problem. And all you need to do is show us where we're wrong. Go on, use some geometry and show us.
Interesting.
Well, almost done, but you know I like to have a little bit of fun, and here's an idea I had just now. The rocket was first visible above the horizon when it was 23 kilometers of up. Now the boost is separated and chucked to Yui at about 70 kilometers of upness. So where is the 0 kilometers based on those 2 points in space? With no perspective across the field of view, we should be able to simply scale it. Let's see, shall we? Ooh, that's way below the horizon. Way, way, way below.
Interesting.
What do you reckon, Jaren?
Interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
It's just a single engine burn for 79 engine. Each one of these equity engines have about 190,000 pounds of thrust. That is enough to slow the vehicle down just in time for landing. And you can see the coast of Florida in the background. Have that landing burn coming up here just about 20 seconds or so. Landing burn will last about 20 seconds. And we are scheduled to land. Landing done. Landing later.
Yep.
That it?
No, still not quite.
Ah.
Yeah, near enough.
I
Yeah.
can't see the slider on the bottom.
I like the way that the wide awake video, he zooms in as if he can see the boosters landing, and they've already dropped out of his field of view.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're there somewhere. No, you've missed them, mate. They're over the curve already. You've lost them.
Missed it by that much.
And I believe also his, if I remember rightly, his sound wasn't in sync with what he was showing.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was way out.
I like how they call all architects and engineers Muppets. Anyway.
Yeah, thanks.
They were mentioning something like that on over one of those photo discords about the sound not being in sync somewhere.
A lot like that from Jaredism, change the amount of perspective.
Yeah.
Or change the size to fit
Like
the
Paul said,
perspective.
variable perspective. Yeah.
It was almost like they're
That's the
suggesting
exact
that the
variable.
mountains actually change in size, and so no, the mountains stay the same size. But I have heard that.
Yeah, it's the government at CIA. They change the size of the mountains every now and again.
Yeah,
Just
to suit
forward.
that particular person looking in that particular direction on that particular point.
Yeah, it's NASA did it. That's what it is. It's all NASA's fault. Everything's NASA's fault.
Yep.
We've got to blame someone.
They're responsible for everything, everywhere.
Everything, yeah. Literally.
Well, so it's not
Everywhere all
Matt's
at
fault
once.
this time.
No,
No, it's
it's
NASA's
actually
fault,
NASA's
no.
fault.
Yeah.
Ah.
Well,
you
I'm a
got out of
NASA,
it though. on
I'm a
that.
NASA shill, so I suppose
Ah.
suppose you could make that connection.
Yeah.
I haven't had any money yet. I wish you bloody had. Do with a bit more money, to be fair.
Can we all?
Money. What do you want money for? You only spend it.
Yeah. Oh, did you get your heating allowance payment, farmer's boy? I think everybody gets one in the household, don't they?
I didn't.
Do we?
I didn't.
No, not
Heating
bloody
allowance,
Australia, the UK, not you.
Well, I get a regular payment back every month from my energy provider.
We get a
maybe
we
you
get a
don't- maybe you don't
rebate.
qualify. No, maybe you don't.
We get
don't
a
qualify.
subsidy before we pay it.
No,
Yes.
this January, February, the government decided that every household they're going to get a payment, one single payment per household of £600.
Okay.
Which
Well, we get that every year.
Yeah.
We can get no.
cost of living
bonus.
the cost of living is based on energy, because energy prices have gone so ridiculously high here. So everybody got £600. I'm surprised you probably didn't get one. Maybe you don't qualify
No,
because of that.
I guess not. And having said that, I just looked in my bank account, and yesterday Scottish Power took their monthly slug, £335.
Ouch.
Well, prior to last June, I think it was, I was paying my gas and electricity cost £110 a month, and it trebled.
Well, I
But
got
they
the
do-
I got the voucher. I get a voucher, so I've got to go to the post office basically. And, but that's
Same here.
That's
Yeah.
going straight on the electric, all of it. So I haven't got to worry
But
about it. For
they
several months.
they pay me back. Scrolling down, they pay me back £67 a month.
Yep.
Oh, is it because of the solar panel?
No, because of the cap.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly the same amount my voucher is for. That I take to the post office and put on the key.
Oh, the
Trouble is,
67.
I'm
right.
sure your electricity is a fuck sight cheaper than my electricity, because I'm on a bloody key meter.
Well, I'm on a key meter as well. Well, not key meter.
So-
it's, yeah.
Yeah.
I was when I moved in, and I said they're going.
Well, actually, the one that my electric actually is with pay as you go. It actually is cheaper than billed monthly. It's one of the few actually that is very few. It's actually slightly cheaper, not much, but tiny bit cheaper. So
Nope.
luckily have that.
Normally, it's a lot more expensive. To have
Usually
a
is, yeah.
prepayment meter.
Yeah, it usually is. Yeah, it's
Normally the most-
power. Yeah, it usually is. It's Power NI, Power Northern Ireland. Basically, they used to be part of another group, but yeah, they're actually slightly cheaper than billed monthly
Is it?
per unit. Yeah, there are exceptions though.
Just what are you whinging about? It could be like South Africa, where you have no power for 8 to 10 hours per day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, Carl.
Yeah, we were talking about electric cars on the Shills last night and the benefits of it and who it benefits and who it doesn't, and whether it's any good or not, blah, blah, blah. And then somebody said, right enough, made a point. It's like, electric cars will never take off in South Africa because half the time we haven't got any power anyway to recharge them. So,
To recharge them, yeah.
Yeah.
So that would work.
There was something I saw on the news online, I think it was yesterday or the day before, they finally twigged that, yes, our government had said that come 2030, we won't produce any more, we're not allowed to make any more normally engined cars, petrol or diesel. But people are already finding that they're having extreme trouble charging their cars up because the infrastructure's not there. And then we had those photos over Christmas of all those people with Teslas queuing up to charge their cars. They're telling people, we want you to go out and buy electric cars. Yeah. What about the infrastructure to charge them? Because they're saying a lot of the garages you go to, a lot of the places where there are chargers now, you get there, and if there are 3 chargers, 2 are being used and 1's broken.
Yeah.
You know,
it's the general.
It's a dead end anyway.
The general consensus, and I think we agreed last night, was that it probably might benefit for somebody who just like is a run around in a city or a town somewhere, you know, like your housewife or something like that. Electric car might benefit economically; it pays. But anybody else that's traveling an awful lot, it just isn't going to pay, and it's a nightmare. And that actually borns out on an article I read a few months ago when they did like a survey, and they had a cross section of people. Anything from like, you know, like your housewife to somebody who travels around an awful lot all over the country. And the people that are traveling the most had the worst nightmares. And it just, economically, it just didn't pay to have an electric car.
Yeah. Also, what about all the people who can't afford a new vehicle?
Right, exactly, yeah. So I think, generally speaking, I think that the government, you know, there's nothing wrong with electric cars per se, and it is an idea, but I think they're pushing it too early because the technology's not there. I mean, look at the lithium mines and things like that and all the rest of it as well. I mean, there's just too many issues that, you know, in terms of pollution. And
I've got an idea for the electric vehicle.
Hybrid.
Like your gas bottles and things like that, where you pay a deposit for the actual bottle and then you get the gas. You pay for the gas to fill it up, but you get you return your old bottle and you get a new one full. Well, the cars with those battery packs that are underneath them, they should just drive in like a car wash type system where it goes in, the old battery drops out, new fresh battery drops in, and away you go.
Well, there's a reason that all of the major car manufacturers are investing heavily in hydrogen.
Yeah.
And making that work. They're all. I know that from where I worked the other year. They're all doing that. They're investing billions in researching hydrogen, using hydrogen to power cars, because they know that pure electric cars and big heavy batteries is a technological dead end.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And we as a country will be about 20 years behind when they go, oh, we've got to have electric cars by 2030. No, just hang on a minute. Just hold your horses.
I think the world's governments were better off actually pushing through hybrid cars until, you know, battery technology is more advanced, because at the moment, as it stands at the moment, it's not really going to work out. Because the bigger cars, the more, you know, the bigger batteries you're going to need. And those, as far as those Tesla trucks, they're not going to sell.
Well, I saw on somebody's Discord very recently a photograph of a Tesla charging point that was obviously somewhere very rural with a bloody diesel generator hooked up to it.
There you go.
Oh, dear. That's funny. Bloody pointless, that, isn't it?
I think you'll find that probably not by 2030, but 2050, I think almost everything could be electric.
Yeah, no, I just don't think it's going to work. It's going to go flop.
There will
the whole industry.
A thriving trade in second-hand cars in this country.
Yeah, apart from, of course, look at all those thousands and thousands of cars the government took out of the second-hand market with that bloody buyback scheme.
Oh, yeah.
In 2009.
Yeah.
Aren't the majority of car sales are second-hand?
Well, ours was before that, Alan. Before 2009.
But that's
Pretty
just
sure,
normal.
yeah,
that
pretty sure the majority of car sales in the UK are second-hand
Ours,
cars.
ours
Yeah,
was
but
back in the 90s.
That's the
They
same
did that.
everywhere, Matt. That's not. That's normal. You just got to think
Yeah,
about it.
I didn't know whether it was the rest of the same as the
Well,
rest of the world.
it's just normal. What if you think about it? How many people can afford a new car, and how many can afford a second-hand car? And those that are smart enough realise that the new cars aren't worth what they are, what they're paying for them. So you get a second-hand car, you can buy one off next demo for half the price of a new one. Yeah, so why? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
See,
Yeah.
I saw a video on YouTube where a guy went through all the cars taken off the UK roads by the scrappage scheme, and you got 2,000 quid on the scrappage scheme, and there was at least one classic car that got taken, which must have been roadworthy because it had to be roadworthy for the scheme. A classic car that was worth in excess of £30,000.
Bloody hell!
What? And it was taken to scrap. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and it went to the scrappage scheme.
What a waste.
But what was was it voluntary or was it
something
compulsory?
really unusual.
Was it compulsory or voluntary?
No, it was voluntary. Oh,
So it's the owner's fault. It's not the government's fault.
No, because it was you got a payment of £2,000 or something, didn't you? If you took it to scrap or something, you're guaranteed.
Yeah, but if the car's worth more than that,
Hey, Timbo, listen to what Alan's explaining it.
yeah, go.
You got £2,000 scrappage to buy a new car,
Yeah.
and was it Austin Healey frog-eyed sprites? 2 of them went to the scrappage.
Yeah.
They're worth way more than 2,000.
But isn't that the owner's fault, not the government's fault?
Well, okay, yes, I suppose it's the owner's fault, but
the government didn't make him do a bad deal. That's what I was checking. It wasn't compulsory. It was the guy had it was
it wasn't
idiotic.
compulsory, but it was. But yeah, it certainly threw a spanner in the values of second-hand vehicles.
Well, here's the thing, right? Probably that with that guy, right? He had a classic car. Okay, he couldn't sell it because nobody could afford it, right? So he thought, well, usually if you take it to scrap, he probably wouldn't even get a quarter. You probably wouldn't even get 500 quid scrap. So government scheme comes up. It says we'll guarantee you're going to get £2,000. Yes, please. Thank you very much. Simple as that.
Yeah, but as I said,
if that happened over here, one bloke had the marvellous idea, which is made him a lot of money now. Back in the day when we had the cash for scrap cars, he saved every single car and put them in a holding yard down the road here at Dapto. And we wondered for years after this cash for scrap deal, why were all these cars parked in this holding yard, like thousands of cars, all old cars too, classics and that, all just parked there from the cash for scrap. Yeah, he turned it into a scrapyard. I turned it into a pick apart afterwards.
Yeah, made money from that.
The thing is, as well, about classic cars as well. I mean, I bet you the majority of classic cars are all sitting in somebody's garage somewhere, just rotting there, sitting there. Rotting.
Well, that's what happened to them too. Because when we drove down there, when it first opened, there was nice cars like old classic Holdens and early model Fords and other European cars parked off to the side, like in the private area of the property where they offices or whatever, back around behind there. And we wondered what those cars were. We figured out, they've pocketed the good cars.
Probably.
I was talking to one guy at a show. I was with St John's and nothing better to do. So this guy was talking to me about his, I can't remember what classic car he had. No idea, but he had a lorry that he took it to the car show, and then took it home again. And I said, well, why do you do that? And he says, well, can't afford to insure it, can't afford to put it on the road. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So what's the point in having it? He says, well, this is what I do. I just bring it to shows and things like that because I can't afford to drive it. He said, I wish I could, but I can't. So yeah, I don't see the point, to be honest with you, but I suppose, you know...
So that's what I'm saying. So the cars are only worth what people pay for them. So it's sort of like you can't say cars worth
exactly
30 grand if no one's actually going to pay 30 grand for it. So I know, having dealt with a few people that seem to think things are worth a lot more than
I mean, also as well, unless you're an...
Yeah, Wally, the old men whining about cars,
I mean, unless you're an enthusiast as well, you're not going to buy a classic car, are you?
No.
Because it's probably not worth the money, because you're going to it's going to be quite a lot of maintenance to keep a classic car on the road if you're driving it.
So the person that scrapped it...
Well, look at me with my old wagon. I've had it since 95 and I'm still working on it.
Yeah. Exactly. And you're a motor mechanic, you know what you're doing, but the vast majority of people don't. So they can't afford to put it on the road. They can't afford to maintain it. So along comes a government scheme. Oh, well, I'm not going to get 200 quid cash for it for scrap usually. Along comes a government scheme offering $2,000 for scrap. Okay, thank you very much.
Well, I bought mine private for 400, and that was in 94, 95. And in the car yard document that I've got for the pay slip for the car yard, in 92 it was for 4,500 out of the car yard.
So you've had that car for about 20 years and it's not been on the road yet?
Since 95.
Yeah,
it's registered. It's been registered the whole time.
Yeah. Have you driven it at all?
Yeah, I drive it. Just at the moment, I'm working on it at the moment.
That's the thing. When you got an old car, you're constantly working on.
No, I'm not.
In between driving it, yeah. I mean,
yeah, I drive it, and then I'll go, okay, I might do a bit of work on it now, and I'll take it off the road again for a while and do a little bit of work on it.
Anyway, have you got any more videos left to watch?
Yeah, I've got an Anton, and then we've got Simon.
2 left.
Yeah.
It's more reliable than my bloody Statesman, if you want to go down that road.
Yeah, but it's newer than your Statesman, isn't it?
No, I mean, Statesman's newer than the wagon.
Oh, sorry. I get confused which one's which.
Yeah, the Statesman's a 97 model and my wagon's a 79 model. Make bigger.
Embiggen.
Making biggin.
And then mutant.
And then mutant.
And then
yeah,
if you said press and playing.
And press and playing?
Yeah.
Hello wonderful person, this is Anton, and today we're going to be discussing a relatively new study, a somewhat exciting study, that essentially created tractor beams, as demonstrated in the video you see right here. The laser moves the object, although in this case it doesn't just move the object, it pulls it toward the laser itself, attracting it in the process, or acting as the term itself suggests, a tractor beam, which is actually the original term which eventually became shortened to the tractor beam. And even though, like many of you, I originally thought that this was from Star Trek, that's not entirely true. This was originally used in a science fiction novel by E.E. Smith, Space Hounds of IPC, a tale of interplanetary corporation, with the idea of tractor beam adapted to a lot of other science fiction, including Star Trek, afterwards. But before I explain to you what the scientists did in this particular study, I wanted to also briefly explain why the idea of tractor beam technology is actually so exciting. Or basically the idea behind some kind of a light beam pulling on the object and trying to attract it toward a certain point. And that's because the opposite of this is not very difficult to achieve. Pushing on the object with light is definitely quite possible with even just a typical laser. Here's actually a very common example that you can find in the description below. This is by NASA itself. And in this case, this is our repulsor beam, or basically the light from the laser gives this object quite a lot of momentum, pushing it in the process, allowing this object to move and to accelerate with time. This is of course what we expect of light, knowing what we know about light, and so none of this is surprising at all. And so for example, the idea of solar sails is entirely based on light pushing on something because photons contain momentum. And so if we can actually focus some of this light and use lasers to then try to push solar sails, these sails could then in theory reach ridiculous speeds. But that's pushing, or laser repulsion. That's not particularly difficult. But how would you attract an object using a laser? Or using anything else for that matter as well? Well, there have been some tricks here and there, and the scientists have been actually developing these tricks for a very long time. Here's one of the earlier examples using water waves. In this case, by generating a certain type of waves, it becomes possible to attract the object through the interaction of these waves with the shape on the water itself. And in theory, this is possible to recreate using other types of objects and other types of waves. And that of course includes waves of light. And so very similar types of attraction have been achieved with extremely small particles. It's not entirely clear how this can be used just yet, but some scientists have suggested we can maybe use this to, for example, clean pollution in the air. More importantly though, it seems to work with certain types of laser beams. But there are a lot of other effects and a lot of other phenomena that can be used for similar principles. And that's pretty much exactly what was done in this experiment, allowing the scientists to actually manipulate an object that's much larger. In this case, I believe it's about 15 centimeters in length. And that by itself is a pretty big breakthrough. It's technically the first time ever that a macro object has been physically manipulated, producing the effects that we can technically describe as a tractor beam. A laser attracting the object toward it, but using a very different principle and using extremely specific conditions. So here's how this was done, and here's sort of how it works. Now, in a lot of other cases using lasers, normally this relies on the idea of momentum delivered by photons themselves. But in this case, the scientists use the other phenomenon. Lasers also deliver energy. They can basically heat up an object, and this heat can then be used as a kind of a propulsion. They used a much less known phenomenon known as the Knudsen force. A force that usually appears when you have two different materials very close to one another, and in this case these two materials will usually have different heat properties. And when one of the materials starts to heat up a little bit more than the other, it starts to produce a force that then, in theory, can move this object. Okay, it might become a little bit more clear if we actually analyze what the scientists did exactly. They made a material containing two different layers. One of them was made out of graphene, and the other one was made out of silicon oxide, or in other words, glass. And glass in this case lets quite a lot of laser light through, which makes one of the sides warm up much faster, and in this case it's the side facing away from the laser. But they then also lowered the atmospheric pressure to 5 Pascal. Not really vacuum, but definitely much lower than pressure on Earth. It's actually even lower than pressure on Mars. And so in these low air pressure conditions, they were then able to observe the laser pulling on the object and actually physically moving it, as seen in this video right here. And so this is something that's easily achievable if the right material is used and if present in somewhat low atmospheric conditions. But in this case this would not work in all conditions. The force generated directly depends on the gas pressure and the heat difference between two different layers, with the scientists definitively establishing that a very low pressure of 5 Pascal seems to produce the highest effect, and the more difference in heat there is between layers, the more propulsion is produced as well. But I guess more intriguingly, the pressure is not coming from the photons or from the light, it is coming from the surrounding molecules that, because of the heat difference, end up exerting more pressure on one side. But more intriguingly, the actual force generated is something like 1,000 times higher than the pressure exerted by the laser itself. So this seems to be a very efficient technique to move objects around. And so in other words, even though the pushing power of laser might be relatively low, this technique seems to dramatically increase the overall pressure generated as a result of heat. But once again, it's unlikely to work in all situations. As a matter of fact, it's unlikely to work in typical atmospheric conditions on planet Earth, even if we use the same setup. But according to the scientists in this paper, Mars potentially has necessary conditions to actually use this phenomenon. The atmospheric pressure here is pretty low, and so in theory, it might be able to manipulate objects using lasers from really far away distances by using some kind of a remote probe. And so by using laser technology, and by using certain types of graphene, it may become possible to pull things around Mars without the physical presence by using typical lasers. Although in this case it's not entirely clear how this could be used just yet. This could also potentially be used in the upper atmosphere of planet Earth, and that's actually where we can maybe even test this in some near future, but at this stage it's just a proof of concept. It looks like it's possible to pull objects using lasers if they're in low enough pressure conditions and if you have two materials that heat up at very different levels. And so this is definitely not Star Trek yet. We don't really have the ability to create a large tractor beam usable in vacuum in order to move large objects or large spaceships around, but baby steps. It looks like we can use lasers to pull objects of certain properties in certain conditions, which is sort of how a lot of other optical technologies started as well. For example, the optical tweezers that are currently used in various scientific and medical fields, including manipulation of small molecules like DNA or small bacteria, also started with a small discovery years ago and eventually led to the Nobel Prize in 2018. So for all we know, maybe this is something similar. But I guess we're not going to know until future studies and until future discoveries. Still pretty cool stuff and pretty exciting. On that note, once we learn something else or once the scientists develop something different, I'll make sure to follow this up with another video. Until then, thank you for watching, subscribe, share this with someone who loves learning about space and sciences, come back tomorrow to learn something else, and maybe support this channel on Patreon by joining channel membership or by buying the Wonderful Person t-shirt you can find in the description. Stay wonderful, I'll see you tomorrow, and as always, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Oh, we can use tractor beams now. We can get around.
Yeah.
Move things around.
Interesting.
Or
First baby steps to a tractor beam.
you can just pick your mug up.
With your hand.
Yes.
Not a laser.
Yeah, I ain't got any lasers at the moment. They're all on the sharks.
Yeah.
It would
Well, I
make
thought-
it easier to pick things up.
Sharks or penguins?
I was going to say penguins. Yeah, I thought they're on the penguins these days. That's probably
No,
why
no,
they're
no.
not on the dolphins.
Oh.
They're on the penguins.
We transferred them from the sharks. Sharks with freaking lasers.
Yeah. Well, no, 'cause they had to go to the penguins to defend the ice wall. Of course.
That's right.
Yeah, the penguins will be happy.
Freaking lasers on their head.
Maybe they can use the lasers to clean up the poo that they're leaving behind that they can be spotted from space by.
Yeah, they do make a mess apparently. Don't
They do, yes.
Right. That's what they noticed on the Falkland Islands.
Well, yeah. I've been reading up. There's quite a few books I've found on the net all about the Falkland War and all the rest of it. And apparently the Argentinians had a habit of doing that as well, making a mess.
Yeah, they did a bit. Didn't they?
When you read when they they're going for these nighttime assaults, the can't remember which regiment this was, but they're being shot at and it's dark, so they dive for cover and they find trenches and things and just dive in these trenches and come up with poo and bog paper stuck to them.
Yeah.
What's that smell? Oh, yeah. But who cares? We're being shot at. This is cover,
Yeah, we're
and they said yes.
The shit in here.
The Argentinians were quite good at that. They didn't care. I was going to say they didn't give a shit, but that wasn't the problem.
Yeah. I know a few guys who were down there on the radar systems in the very early days.
Yep.
And they would go down to watch one of the beaches and bet on the penguins.
On the penguins.
Yeah, well, betting on the penguins hopping around in a minefield.
Oh.
Which one's going to go first?
Oh, that's a good
Yes, they
game.
were
Hours
just
of
heavy
fun.
enough to set them off.
And they only finished them clearing a few years ago, didn't they?
Yeah, not long ago. Yeah.
Bearing in mind this was, what was it, 1982?
1982, correct? Yes.
April 1982, and they've barely finished clearing the minefields. The
Well, they need more
Argentinians just went, but yeah, round them up, send them out that way. They just went bonkers putting mines down all over the bloody place.
Well, you can imagine how long it's going to take to clean up Ukraine then, because they're planting here, there, and everywhere. I mean, it's just going to take decades.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's some unemployed flat earthers out there that wouldn't mind helping us clear at the mines.
Okay, guys, could you form a line? Yeah, right. Just off you go.
Yeah, was it the Irish mine detectors? Just put your foot out.
Yeah,
with your
they
hand
stick
in your
their
ears.
hands in their ears and then just tap their foot out in front of it.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I found a mine. Why is that? Because I'll throw myself 50 foot in the air and disperse myself over a wide area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he found one.
Right, we've got Simon Dan last, did we?
Yeah, last one.
Is it Simon or is it somebody else? I can't remember.
No, Simon.
It's
Oh,
Simon
it's got
Toad.
bit of McToon and.
It's an MC2 taking over.
I
isn't it?
think he's copied the. Oh, it's got a bit of everything actually. Bit of Cyman, bit of that. Bit of that. Oh, a bit of that interesting. Yeah. Okay. We'll just have to see what's going on here. Yeah, the flat earther that proved the Earth curve. He's doing that one. That's a bit of a repeat, sort of.
Yeah, well.
It doesn't matter. I can't type me goodbyes while I'm watching this, so I'll have to type me goodbyes out there after we finish watching. It's a shame you couldn't see it. That full screen.
If you pop out the chat before you
like that.
full screen it, you could type your goodbyes. Anyway.
Yeah, but I'm in full screen now.
Yeah, I said before you went full screen.
Ah. Yeah, but you like a full screen, so.
No, just saying you pop out.
One of my favourite
things.
It's all good.
It's all good. Don't worry.
I'll fix it up after.
As you were.
As you were.
Okay.
Okay.
What was I doing?
Pressing play.
Yeah, press play.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I knew there was something I was doing.
Earth debunkers out there is MC Toon. He's just so thorough and has inflicted some very heavy beatings on flat earthers in debates. Well, he is back to cover me again, you'll be pleased to hear, this time breaking down that experiment from Jeranism. But before we hear from him, a quick word from today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. Surfshark is a VPN service that makes online privacy 83% off and 3 months extra free. Right, on with the show. I bring you MC Toon.
Jaron Campanella thinks that the Earth is flat. Well, he says he thinks that, but I have my suspicions. I think Jaron is a grifter that needs to keep up appearances so the money keeps rolling in. You're right. I don't look like Dan. I also don't have Dan's smashing accent. Instead, I have absolutely no accent. Right? Well, I'm MC Toon. You can call me Mike. Dan's on vacation, so NASA called down to Central Casting and asked for the best debunker on the globe. But he was busy, so they asked me. We all know about Bob Nodell and his
15-degree-per-hour drift.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bob. Dan, this is my video. You get to say thanks, Bob, every week here. Can I get a chance today?
Sorry about that.
We all know about Bob Nodell and his
15-degree-per-hour drift.
Thanks, Bob. And we know how Bob hogs the
Never gonna get old.
spotlight for measuring the Earth's rotation, and poor Jaron, well, he's always eclipsed by Bob's shadow. But don't forget, Jaron verified the curve of the Earth.
Interesting.
That's the one, Jaron. Let's listen to Jaron describing his experiment.
You're seeing through this hole, through the next hole, and seeing the light at the backboard, or 17 feet off the water. The Earth is flat. If he's holding it up at 23 feet high and we're seeing the light, well, that's because the Earth's curved. Enrique, how high is your light?
17 feet.
I mean, it's his. We don't see you, Enrique. Lift up your light way above your head. Interesting.
After this experiment, did Jaron come clean and admit that the Earth was a globe? No.
Nah.
He said the experiment was inconclusive, and the documentary people were dishonest in the editing, and there were weeds in the way. And he was absolutely going to redo the experiment and publish the epic flat Earth dirt pizza proving results.
It's going through weeds. It's hitting weeds. Hitting these weeds was shooting through weeds, right through the weeds.
It's been over 4 years, and he has published nothing. Did Jaron find a path around the weeds?
No.
Did Jaron repeat the test somewhere else?
No.
Did Jaron report his results?
No.
Of course, the weeds are not a problem. Jaron did see the light from Enrique in his test. The weeds were not in the way. He just didn't like the results. He wants this experiment to just go away. In fact, Jaron has removed all references to this experiment from his channel. There are none to be found on the Globebusters channel either. It looks to me like Jaron is trying to do a little whitewashing. We all know why he never mentioned it again. He did try to redo the test and was not able to force the mandatory flat Earth results. But people keep bringing it up to him, as they should. He has a weekly call-in show on Wednesdays. Recently, during one of these shows, longtime pro-globe debater Brenda called in and challenged him. Now, Jaron's response
Brenda.
was epic, both in how angry he is about his failure at the
person can be annoying
experiment and in
sometimes
how
on some of the
incredibly
discords.
hateful he is. Seriously, Jaron, get some counseling.
If it's 17 feet would have been flat Earth evidence, 23 feet was curved Earth evidence, and we got 19 and a half right in the middle.
No, 23 feet was never that was your prediction. That was you misunderstanding.
What do you mean my misunderstanding? That's the math. It's in the fucking movie, dumb.
No, that's your prediction. At 17 feet, if the Earth is flat, you should be able to see the light.
Correct.
And you didn't see the light.
Correct. Which
Right.
is
You
why-
saw the light when you raised it above
Yes.
17 feet to 19 feet, which is reasonable for an adult to do.
Okay.
Thus confirming the curvature of the Earth. Thank you.
You're
Jaron.
so
It's
dumb. You're
confirmed
so dumb.
verification.
Dumb.
It is-
We were using a tangent line looking through fucking holes, you dumb bitch. It's math that you can do in your fucking head. Cardboard cutout at 17 feet for 3 miles. That's exactly right. Yeah. Because,
and
if
you proved curvature.
you're an idiot again. We saw it
No,
at
you
19 and a half feet.
curvature.
So
That was
stupid it
aggressive,
hurts.
isn't it?
I mean, it's
Curvature.
just as painful that you just keep saying the same thing and you're dumb.
These days, Jaron hides his shame by claiming that the test was inconclusive because the height of the light was wrong. But was it? Let's see what he has to say.
If the Earth is falling away, then we will not be able to see the light at 17 feet. We would only see it at 23. If the Earth is flat, we wouldn't be able to see it at 23. We would only be able to see it at 17. What happened? We saw it at 19 and a half. Hence me saying, interesting. Interesting. The holes were all cut at 17. The camera was at 17. The person's light was at 17. Therefore, we should see it if it's a flat Earth. We didn't see it at 17. We saw it at 19 and a half when he put it above his head. We did not see it at 23 either. So there wasn't.
So it was in the middle.
It was in the middle.
Closer to flat. And
Hence,
if you have-
hence interesting.
Jaron would have a point if the globe prediction was 23 feet, but where did this 23 feet prediction come from? It came from Jaron. One thing we know for certain is that flat earthers never get the globe predictions correct, and this is no exception.
Do the math. Is 19 and a half closer to 17 or 23? And the answer is 17. Now, I would never claim that because it's not a definitive answer.
But you claim
So
23.
The only definitive answers to me would have been 23 and 17. And that's because you have in that distance a 6-foot drop.
Jaron used the famous 8 inches per mile squared formula, which is correct for drop from horizontal. Flurfs usually misuse this formula, but in this instance, it is the correct formula. It gives a drop of 6 feet from Enrique to Jaron, but he missed an important part, the hole in the middle board. There were some eyewitnesses to the experiment, and one in particular describes the setup way better than the documentary does. All the details are on my website at mctoon.net/interesting. There is only one panel, and it was in the middle, 1.5 miles from Jaron and the camera. Then Enrique was holding the light 3 miles away from the camera with no panel. In Jaron's calculations, he figured the drop from Enrique to the camera was 6 feet. This is correct, except the panel in the middle would be blocking it.
Oops.
To get the correct line of sight, you need to figure the drop to the lowest point of the light's path through the panel to Jaron. This is the midpoint between Jaron and the panel. That's 2.25 miles from Enrique, not 3 miles. The drop is 40.5 inches. Then the light path rises back up to Jaron's camera. Applying the formula again to get the rise for 3/4 of a mile, that's 4.5 inches. The correct drop from Enrique to Jaron is 3 feet, not 6 feet. Enrique needs to hold his light at 20 feet above the water, not 23 feet. But that's not it. 8 inches per mile squared assumes that there is no atmosphere, no refraction, but in reality, over 3 miles, there will be some refraction. At night over land, we can take a conservative amount of refraction, and the 8 inches per mile squared formula is corrected to 6.9 inches per mile squared. This makes the correct globe prediction for Jaron's test to be 19.5 feet. Hey, Jaron, how high was Enrique's light?
We see it at 19 and a half. Be 19 and a half, 19 and a half, 19 and a half feet, 19 and a half. So 19 and a half feet, 19 and a half.
Interesting.
Interesting. Interesting.
Interesting.
Interesting there.
So, Jaron, your test was conclusive. The flat Earth prediction was 17 feet and it was not seen. The globe prediction was 19 and a half feet and it was seen. That is conclusive. Jaron has a weekly call-in show on Wednesdays. I'm certain he will want to hear the good news from everyone calling in to let him know. You can send him to my webpage where all the calculations are. Will Jaron be a real truther as he claims to be and accept this corrected analysis as conclusive evidence for the globe? Or will he deny it because he needs that sweet, sweet grifter money from his faithful Flurfy followers?
Semi-money?
Now, I know what you're thinking, but I don't think that the Pope will wear the fishnets. Chatbox Travels.
If the Earth was a globe and you were looking at the North Star, in 12 hours when the Earth spins 180 degrees, it would be behind you. Boom, got you there.
He must think the Earth rotates like this. Somebody's got to tell him that's not right.
Hey, you can feel Jesus in you. But give an example of quantum equations and theories of and everything. But you meant to say can't, cause you can't marry quantum and macro matter. No gravitons non-globe. There you go. That's a mic drop.
Feel Jesus in you. I think there's a double entendre there.
Hello, I'm Andrew Pickett and Jeffrey Broad. Why, if the sun is light, does the sun not move at light speed? Question mark. Dot. Why, if the sun is gas, does not move at the speed of gas? No glob can answer this. Will you take the mantle?
I'll let my co-host Dell take care of this one. Gross.
Should definitely keep that door open for fresh air.
Chatbox Travels is always a fresh breeze of new wisdom. If anyone does call into Jaron, be sure to let me know. You can find me on my channel, Conspiracy Tunes. I'm sure Dan will drop a link in the description so you can subscribe. Or if you like watching Flurfs get flustered in live debates, I debate them every Tuesday on my MC Tune live channel. We'll see you there. If anyone does call into Jaron, be sure to let me know. You can find me on my channel. I'm sure Dan will drop a link in the description so you can subscribe. Or if you like watching Flurfs get
There you go.
flustered in live debates, I debate them every Tuesday on my MC Tune.
Does anybody want to see what the eyewitness that was actually there and saw Jaron's setup? It's on MC Tune's website. Do you want to see it? Or
Yeah,
if you want
to do that.
Unless you want to shut down now, I don't mind. Okay. All right, hold on a second.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it.
Can you see that?
Yep.
So basically, he's MC Tunes. Basically, you can see on the right-hand side, he's with the actual comment that was left, and he's transcribed it onto this. So he says, "I was the globehead there in the video at Globebusters. Jerem shows an illustration with 4 panels. That may have been the plan, but in the field there were 3. One right in front of the laser, which I think is useless. Yeah, a bit pointless, really. 1.5 miles down range with a 6-inch hole, 17 feet above the waterline, and 1 3 miles down range with the height lines drawn on it. I assume you couldn't see it. By the time I arrived, the sun had set and the panel in front of the lasers was up. Enrique got a volunteer, Stephen, and they left to set up the downrange panels. I stayed at the laser location, as did Jerem and Daniel, the cameraman, you see from the documentary. I see. Hang on a second. Apologies, I have got the names wrong. So I keep skipping a little. The laser beam expander and the telescope mount that carried it did not work. Jerem first adjusted the beam expander with the beam hitting the ground. When Enrique got the 1.5 mile panel up, Jerem aimed the beam using the remote for the telescope mount. Aiming was touchy. It would fail to move, then move away too much. When he got it aimed, Enrique reported by phone that the beam lit the entire panel. To further adjust the beam expander, Jerem had to hand manipulate it, throwing off the aim. Blimey. Plot thickens, doesn't it? Jerem switched to the backup plan. At the 1.5 mile panel, Stephen held a reasonably powerful flashlight. At the 3 mile distance, Enrique held a monster flashlight. Jerem had a long zoom camera 17 feet above the water, pointed it downrange towards Stephen and Enrique. The three set up at a conference call, and with Jerem directing, repeated the following procedure about 10 times. It's my scroll wheel is a bit faulty. Okay, that's why it keeps jumping. Stephen shined his light towards the camera through the hole in the 1.5 mile panel, 17 feet above the waterline. Enrique held his light at 17 feet above the water, which was about waist height for him, and walked to his left so its light would go around the middle panel. Jerem and I could see both lights in the camera's flip-out viewfinder. As well as Jerem could focus, the lights were sizable balls, not dots, and they appeared to be about the same height. Enrique, at 3 miles, would walk back to his light until his light was occluded by the 1.5 mile panel, centered as well as Jerem could estimate. Then Stephen would turn off his light and remove it from the hole. The test was then whether we could see in the viewfinder Enrique's light through the hole at the 1.5 mile panel, which would support a flat Earth. If not, could we see it if he held it over his head? Well, over 17 feet above the waterline, which would which should support around Earth. In about 10 tries, with the light held waist high at 17 feet above the water, we never clearly saw it through the center panel hole. Well, there you go. On one of the attempts, maybe the fourth attempt of 10, we clearly saw it when Enrique lifted it above his head. On that one, Jerem asked him to raise it and lower it a few times, and it would appear when Enrique raised it and vanish when he lowered it. Oh, surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
That was the gasp moment. Then Jerem said, "That's interesting. I noted it when it was the prediction for around Earth. When they repeated the whole procedure, it did not happen again. I suggested having Enrique move from side to side a bit, but when included by the panel, in case it was a lateral alignment that was off. Jerem accepted the suggestion, but made no observable difference at all to the light." There you go.
Interesting.
He's interesting.
Yeah, I've only got one word for that.
Yeah, what?
Interesting.
Yeah. It just goes to show that he was the 23 feet was his prediction. It wasn't anybody else's prediction. Just got it wrong.
Of course he got it wrong. He's Jerry.
Yeah.
And you lie about it.
You're a bit late, George.
We're just finishing.
Yeah. I can't tell how long we've been streaming for on my end.
You're very, very early for the next one.
Yeah, 4
I
days.
think we've been going for a couple of hours. 2.5, I think.
Let's have
2:28. Yeah, no, 2.5. That's part C or D.
Yeah.
Although you did have one stream that never actually got live, did it?
No, pardon. I got live for about 30 seconds.
Went for about a minute.
The last one went for 2 minutes and 4 seconds.
Yeah, that's the one.
Well, this is obviously the way forward. If Timbo doesn't mind, he's using his OBS to stream it.
Yeah,
you get
irons
your
out a few bugs here and there, which should be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Just do what
Oh,
we've been
thanks,
doing.
Timbo, for that. That helped me out a lot.
Yeah, nice.
So we don't know if it was OBS that caused it or if it was me streaming through Zoom live through there. We got no idea what caused it.
Nope.
But we're still here, so obviously whatever I was using, had to have been it. Oh, thanks, adolescent, agricultural adolescent. Thanks,
Thank
Alan.
you.
Thanks, Big Blue. Thanks,
Thanks,
Matt.
everyone.
Get better, Matt. We need you.
get better.
Yeah.
Any last words
And
before I push the button?
and Paul's scientist's name, I forgot the name of it.
Gordon Moore.
Oh, Gordon
Bennett.
Okay.
Any last
thanks,
words?
Gordon. Well, the panel, I've got to say goodbye to the Peanuts.
Yep.
Oh, Measured Constraints, that's a new name. I've heard that one before. Tiny Captain Fondle, George, Boomer, Boomen Tutu. Who else did we have? Ollie, Stewie, Miss Mandy, Gary with his usual
rubbish.
My mum bakes cake. Fred, Clive,
Now too. Bye.
Dora, Clara, Micro Raptor. I said it correctly.
Yeah.
Larry. Judy.
Get Measured Constraints. You mentioned him.
Right at the start.
Oh, okay.
Larry. Again. Clive again. Tiny Captain again. My mum bakes cakes. Red nuts. Demon Orb. And that's as far as I can get. Oh, Jaren Urism as well.
Timbo's arm is getting tired.
Is it?
Yeah, you can put it down now, Timber.
Somewhere there's a guy sitting there going.
Well, we might be able to do a full stream next time, so everything goes well.
Isn't there one in? Is it One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? Isn't it? Like one of the mental patients has got his arm up all the time.
He flies like a bird.
Possibly, yes. Oh, it's a long time since I've watched that.
Yeah, I think it was that film anyway. I think it was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Yeah, one of the mental patients got his arm up all the time, permanently, the whole time.
I heard somebody say they want some famous last words or something.
That wasn't me.
No?
I don't think so.
I've got nothing.
Got nothing?
I'll tell you what, I do have one thing. Don't use children on Flat Earth videos, please. Thank you.
Yeah. Good advice.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Well, we all seen it, I'm sure, by now.
Yeah.
Hit the red button